Welcome to Dip a Toe. We are live. How's everybody doing today? Want to give a shout out to my friend Simon, who's not able to join us tonight, but he might be popping in the chat later. But tonight we have a special guest. My good friend Keda is graciously accepted to co-host tonight. And some of you might know who Keda is, but for those that don't know who you are, Miss Keda, please let our audience know who you are.
Hello, everybody. It's Keda from Keeping It 100 with Keda and the crew. Um, you may know me from that. I'm in the Twitter spaces, and I dip a toe in the crypto world. So I'm here for upliftment and encouragement, and trying to help people get to their best selves. So
I
that's what
love
I'm
it.
here for.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was so we kind of touched base with each other over the past year or so, and I've really enjoyed. I enjoyed it when you were doing the Keeping It 100 and the Wind
Yeah,
Down Wednesday. That was great. I got the opportunity to be on there with you, and I had so
yeah,
much fun.
yes.
Um,
And I'm going to
there's so
tell you,
many.
it was amazing to have you as a co-host on the show because, and I know I've said this to you on many occasions, you are so sharp and so with it. And when it comes to a topic, you really give some really good sound information and advice. And I think that that's really important. Your voice is very, 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 very much needed. So much
Well, I
appreciated.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's
You're
a
you're
it's
welcome.
a it's a big, wide open space to navigate, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
yes, it
there's
is.
a lot of complexities, and you can kind of get caught up in it all of it.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
lot of nuance. It's a lot of nuance that happens, and especially with so many things that are up in the air that we have, right now. Some of us are, very much so invested, um, hypothetically, in
yeah.
some things. And because of that, there's a lot of speculation and discussion concerning it, lots of rights and wrongs, and who knows more, and all of that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to crypto and any other thing that is an investment, we have to treat it as such, that it's an investment. I sometimes, will tell people, look, if you think about it like a 401k, then you pretty much you'll have the right mindset. We have that stuff taken out of our check, and
Right.
then the next thing you know, we don't think about it
We don't think about it at all,
at
right?
all. At all. You don't know what you've invested in. You have no earthly idea. You haven't done any research. All you know is it's a fund that's there, and you said, "All right, I'm gonna put some money in it, and it's gonna be there when I retire." You know.
Yeah.
Now this has a different type of a nuance. I mean, it definitely is very, very different. But at the same time, if you have that same type of mindset, you know what I mean, then the ups and downs of the market won't affect you as much. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
think that that's what happens is that people, see things go down and just automatically assume that it won't ever come back up, you
Yes.
know?
Well, and there's a difference between thinking about this investing in your future long term than playing it like it's a casino, right?
Or even like you're just a day trader. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you're not a day trader and you're not trained as a day
You're gonna
trader,
get
you're gonna
wrecked.
lose. You're gonna get wrecked,
Won't
you
get
know?
wrecked. Big time wrecked.
hmm And I mean, and for us, I know for myself, if I'm, normally if I'm purchasing anything or dipping my toe into the crypto, I'm looking at it in the sense of, okay, if I'm going to buy it, I'm going to buy it because it does something. You know what I
Right.
mean? It actually does something that we need it to do. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense for you to purchase something that's, that doesn't do anything or can't even, prove that it does something, and
Or
something that's
because there's a
useful.
lot of yeah, or there's a lot of hype surrounding it.
That part.
There's a lot of hype surrounding it for a reason, right?
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
want to.
and it ends up being rug pulls, you know?
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second here. I wanted to say hello to the new mindset, and Queen of the Nile is joining us
Hey,
in the chat.
folks.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I think people's mindset when it comes to this, they really need to decide like why they're investing in the first place. Um, and if you think about over the course of history, where we have these new innovations that are up and coming, there's always that period of time where um, nobody's talking about it, or they're talking really they give bad spins on it, or they
Mhm.
add a lot of confusion around it. Like when the internet came out, or the phones, and the way that we do things today. When they first came out, you would never have thought that this is the way we would be living life, right? That we would be so
Right.
dependent on this technology. And so there's a lot of fear pushed out there, and a lot of misdirection, and I think it's
Hmm.
intentional, for people to be confused, or just intentionally wanting to make them disinterested, so that they won't get on the bandwagon early, so to speak. And we're so
Yeah,
early
it's
in this.
calculated. It's very calculated in that respect. I mean, because if you think about it, and just what you just said, we're early. I mean, we're those people that got into Google or into Facebook, you know what I mean, when they actually got stocks, or Amazon when it was still
Amazon is the
all
biggie.
books, you know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, for
Yeah.
myself, I used to work for Amazon. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Oh,
and I was I mean, I was able to get, stock options at the time. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, you know, it's very calculated in the sense of them trying to really dissuade us from
mhm.
even being anywhere near. And I'll say what it is, digital assets, because digital
Yeah.
assets is different than cryptocurrencies, and people need to understand the difference between the two,
Yeah.
right? Because cryptocurrency is cryptic. Crypto means that it is, in some way shielded or masked in a way that people aren't supposed to be able to get to it. Now, digital
Right.
assets, on the other hand, and that's what you're going to see in litigation, that's the verbiage that they use. Digital assets are great,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
the cryptocurrency is bad. So, you know,
Cryptocurrency, they're bad. Yeah.
yeah, welcome, XRP slave. I see you there, and hello,
Yeah.
Digital.
Yeah, it's just it is it's definitely something that people, in my opinion, should give more attention right now because of the opportunity. And I've kind of stopped begging my friends and family,
Hmm.
because really I think that the ship has sailed in that respect. Everything that I've put out, they can go back and watch. They can
Hmm.
call me up and ask me a question, but I'm kind
Hmm.
of done trying to get them to see, because either you want to see and learn, or you don't. And
Yeah.
this is a complicated space for sure, but there's a lot of things in life that are complicated, and nothing easy necessarily is worth having. So doing your due diligence, doing your own research,
Hmm.
and finding that hidden gem.
Hmm.
And when you really start to dig in, just a little dip in a toe, just a tiny bit,
Hmm.
the average person, I think, dipping a toe can see if they just gave it a chance, to
But at the
try.
same time, you know what? Yes, I agree with that. At the same time, there's a whole population that will never know. They'll
Yeah.
never be involved. And the thing is that we kind of have to be okay with that. And the reason I say that is what we've gotten into, we're so in the beginning that when it does do what we believe it will do, I think that there's going to be people that are going to be very upset that they weren't in it, didn't know about it, didn't get into it. But at the same time, those people that we try to enlighten, try to tell, try to say something to, those are going to be the people that are going to be really upset. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you know, I would think that if I'm giving you that type of information, that you very well might just take a look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what that says is that you don't trust me. You don't trust
Right.
what I have to
Yeah.
say, and you're not you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're waiting for the cosign.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're waiting
Yep.
for the cosign, and the cosign that you're looking for 9 times out of 10 is already in it, been inside of it, and
Mhm.
and is so deep into it that by the time you get into it, you won't even be able to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the call sign in is the same people that are dissuading you from getting involved in it in the first place, the same people that are don't look over here, look here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when they decide to start turning the ship and start advertising it and talking about it ad nauseum, that's when the people are going to want to get in, and that's when the prices are already going to be super high.
No, it's
When
yeah, it's like it's gonna be too late
everybody's
though.
bags
At
are
that
packed,
point.
yes. I
Hmm.
mean, it's I mean, it necessarily might not be too late, but what it will be is not as life-changing of an opportunity that we have right now.
Right.
Um, and it's really, I mean, I've never been given this kind of opportunity in my lifetime. Um,
I can't say the same.
I mean, I guess if I would have paid a little bit more attention,
Right.
well, if I would have bought Bitcoin when my younger son told me about it and that his friend was buying this internet money stuff,
Yeah.
if I would have bought some or let him buy some, but I was like, absolutely not, you know,
Yeah.
and I didn't even bother to look into it. I
At least
just
you didn't
I
do what I did.
well,
At
you
least
know what?
you I
It's
bought it
oh,
for $1. You know what I
oh
mean?
my
And
gosh.
but at the same time, when I bought it for $1, I didn't know what it was.
You didn't know what it
I had
was.
no idea. I had no, but at the same time, I will say, I'm a God-fearing girl. It wasn't my season.
Yep. I
That
got
was
you.
not my season.
Yep.
And that season, if I would have had that at the time when I did it, and I would have made that type of money at that time, are you kidding? I probably wouldn't even still be here.
Right. Yeah.
So, I had to grow and learn and understand what type of a responsibility that will and is, that will be and is,
I
you know what
love
I
you
mean?
saying that.
Um and that's the thing. Like we've seen, I know for myself, and I know we've had this discussion. We've seen how people are talking about, yeah, wind moon, because I'm gonna get me a Lambo, and I'm gonna buy this, and everything is okay. Let me be flashy, but
Right.
at the same time,
I'm
they're not
thinking of
thinking about the fact that they were chosen. If they have it, they were chosen to have it, because
yep.
if everybody was meant to have it, they would.
Yep. You are
You know what I mean?
that's why I love you, Keda, and that's why I love there's 20 people watching. We want to say hello. Hello,
Hello,
Lisa.
hello.
That's why I love this space is that there's so many good people that recognize that they were chosen, which I find
Right.
incredible. They realize that they were chosen, especially when they start digging and they're uncovering these things, and how cryptic some of these some of these things can be, when they're talking about it.
Hmm.
You do realize that you are chosen, and I have to say, like once because I got into this initially, my my big boss at work, the second time that I was kind of introduced to Bitcoin, he bought us all for Christmas, through Give Bitcoin. He bought us all $50 or $40 worth of Bitcoin. And
Uh-huh.
you had to leave it sitting in that wallet for a year. And over the
Mm,
year's time, they sent you information, emails to talking about it, and you had to set up your own wallet. And after
mm,
that time, then you moved it into your own wallet. And so
mm.
from the time that he put it in there to the time I moved it into my own wallet, it had grown into like $350. And I
Wow.
thought, holy smokes, I wish I
That's a
would have,
7X.
right? And so I started really just diving in. And then, I mean, real quickly, I stumbled onto XRP.
Yeah.
And once I started doing the research, not even very much, my gut told me this is it. This is a big player in this. And so I got into it and kept continued doing research on it. And everybody that I've run into, they're just great people. You know,
Yeah.
they're just really, there's so many,
Yeah.
everybody that I talk to, they have plans to do good in the world. Like we are
Yeah.
going to be the new, we talk about being the new 1%.
Yeah.
Um, and if you think about it in that way, it's like if there are many of us that actually do benefit, and this comes into fruition where we do have money, um, imagine us all doing something really good with that money.
Mm. And if
What
that's,
an
you know what?
impact we can
Oh,
do.
there's a question. There's a question in the chat. And the
Mm,
question says, here's a question. If you made between 500 million and $1 billion and all of this, what would you do with that money?
that's a
That's an
great
excellent
question.
question. And I have to say, we've, Melissa and I have had,
Yep.
discussions on this. And I know I've said, I would like to be able to have a village of tiny homes for homeless people
Mm,
because and then also the ability to be able to give them the skills they need, whichever whatever they lost, to be able to fix it so that they can remain not homeless. You know what I mean?
yes.
Um, and I think that's important because, those things very well might be mental health help. you know it
Mhm.
could be, they need help with skills so that they can get jobs in this particular market and economy, and
Yep.
and those things are so helpful. It's not that I'm trying to just give you a handout. I want to give you a hand up.
Right. Yes.
So
Well,
that's what I
if
would do.
I had 500 million or $1 billion, um, I would really love to open, start with one, um, a an elder care facility,
Mm,
for folks that don't have money, for folks that don't
yes,
have good insurance, so that and give them the utmost quality care, pay all the
yes,
people that work there well, maybe do some investing where it can eventually run itself in terms of paying for itself.
mm,
But give these people that need l- end of life care and that sort of thing with
yes.
dignity. That's really, I've seen
Ooh, you
so
are
many
hitting a
people.
nerve, girl.
Dude, I've had thank God for my sister.
Mm,
She took my mother home in her home, and what a struggle it was, and she almost got trapped in one of those facilities where they weren't really taking very good care of her. Um and we pretty much we got her out of there, and then
mhm,
my sister took care of her. But we've seen several people
yes,
that are, they're in these places, and I know people, they work hard. I'm not knocking people,
yes.
but it's a struggle, and they're not well taken care of. And damn you to hell if you mistreat an elderly person. And I'm just gonna say it
Absolutely.
live on this channel.
Yeah,
Man, don't
it's
don't
true.
do it.
I
Don't do it.
know. Here's the
Mm,
thing. I am an oncology nurse. So just full disclosure, I'm an oncology nurse. I deal with people of all ages, except for children. We don't really take care of any pediatric oncologic patients, but we do take care of adult oncologic patients. And 9 times out of 10, they're elderly. You know, they're elderly and they have amazing spirits and great stories
they
and
do.
such determination to be here, whether it's for themselves or for their families or just in general because they want to fight. You know what I mean? They
Yep.
want to fight for life,
Yep.
and some of them end up in some rehabs or some assisted living facilities, and sometimes they're not being cared for as well as they should, you
Mm-mm.
know?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing like being around an elderly person. The
Right.
things that you can learn and glean from them, it's important. You know what I mean? And they deserve that.
Yep.
They've done their time,
100%.
you
Yes.
know. So I do
Yes.
agree with you. If you're hurting an elder person, then the
Mm.
wrath, the
That
wrath.
That and the babies. But
That and the babies.
I'm just saying if I do and I know that there's plenty of people that feel the same way that I do, and I just imagine us having this network of people that are going to do good, just wonderful, beautiful things. And I truly believe that in my heart. I'm
Mhm.
sure there's a few that will fall to the wayside, and they won't do you know what they said they were going to do. But I think we have such an opportunity, and we can we can navigate this ship the direction we want. We can make
Yes.
our realities. Will we change the world? I don't know if we'll change the world, like every single thing is going to be roses, right? But we darn sure can make a tremendous dent together in
Absolutely. I
doing such
agree.
wonderful things. And I'm super, super
I agree.
excited about that.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think also as well, what I'm learning about this space and the people that are in it, um, most of us, I'm not going to say all, most of us come from nothing.
yep.
Most of
See,
us come from hello,
I was a
hello.
welfare kid with a free lunch card, just saying.
Listen, don't get it twisted. I know about the government cheese, okay? I
Mm,
know about government cheese.
best
I
cheese ever. I'm just
best
gonna
cheese
say
ever.
it.
Make the
Best cheese
best
and
grilled
honey.
cheese.
What? What? You better
So
back
when it
off my
comes,
cheese.
come on. I know. Listen, I'm from back in the day when the food stamps were actually in a book and you had to pull out. They look like see, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're
So
talking about.
when it comes down to it, we know what it's like to struggle. So because we know what it's like to struggle, we are going to be a bit more, um, compassionate towards those that don't have as much.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you know what I mean? We're going to be those ones that are going to make a dent in the universe, like what the gentleman said about what XRP was going to do. So, at the end of the day, I'm just excited to see, what the people, who have been chosen will do. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
do believe that there are those that will definitely do some great things. I'm not saying that there aren't some that are going to act a plumb fool,
Right.
there are a lot of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about. I have been talking about wanting to eat healthier and all those things, and you saw I started a garden. Why? Because I
I
want
know.
to be able to see where my food comes from. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
I
can't
love it.
just say I want to do it. I got to do it. You know.
We have
So
such tremendous power to impact each other's lives just by the power of suggestion. We get the power of suggestion from the television, media, music, all these things. But we, as humans, we have the power to influence each other greatly by leading by example. And,
yeah,
like XRP slave, one day at a time, one person at a time, with all the same outlook, it can happen. Absolutely. And it creates a chain reaction. Because if you
yeah,
see somebody that's trying to make a difference and they succeed, like Reaper Financial
yeah.
and the ARC
Patrick.
tokens. Patrick
Hmm.
and Greg from ARC, what they're doing with the charities, and giving back to the community. I would love to see something like what they've got going grow.
Yeah,
We do many things like that together.
yeah.
And it can happen. It can happen absolutely
Absolutely.
if we try. No matter what um the upper,
Echelon, I
the
guess they
hidden
call themselves.
figures, no matter what they have in store for us,
Yeah.
right? Because they've had a lot of stuff in store for us. They've already done it, like what we're living through now. But yet
Yes.
we can still make a difference, right? And so when I
Yeah.
hear people going down this dystopian negative road when this whole transformation is happening, it's like you're doing a disservice by continuously talking about all the negative things, because there's this technology, and together we can actually do something good, and we can attract more good people, and boom, it all explodes. So I'm super
Exactly.
excited. I just want to say
I'm
we've got
jazzed.
30 people watching us now, joining us. Thank you for joining. If you guys would please subscribe to the Dip and Toe Show, we'd appreciate it. And tweet this space out. Share it with your family and friends. That'd be great. Um,
Yeah. So I know that you were asking a question about the AMM. And it says this is where you dedicate certain digital assets into AMMs and you use the interest off of that to pay for things that always uh, keep the principal. That's fair.
Mm.
That's fair. Mind you, I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited about the automated market maker. Definitely excited about it. I think it's going to do some great things, especially the AMM that's on the XRPL.
Mm.
What I am going to say for myself, this is not financial advice, but all I'm saying is y'all better stay out that bad boy until it gets tested,
Mm-hmm.
until we know what's really supposed to happen with it. And because
Till
people are
you
going in
understand what it,
blind.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
They
people
lost
are
the
going in
money.
blind. They've lost
Somebody
money.
got some
So
XRP for some really cheap prices
yeah,
because of some mistakes, right?
was it like 32 cents or
Some
34 cents
or less. It was
or
ridiculous.
less?
It
Yeah, it was
was.
really,
I
really cheap.
saw some things passing through, and you know, people get excited when there's these new
They
things,
do.
but unless, and that's why, I would say I am much more a cautious person. I
Yeah.
don't do the whole trust line thing. I don't do all that stuff because I don't know enough about it. And
Hmm.
until I really understand something, I kind of refrain. And then when I do dip a toe, I just dip that little tiny toe, little baby toe in there, and
The tippy toe, the tippy toe, not just the
just
toe, the tippy
that
toe.
that tippy toe for show, huh?
Yeah. So
But
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I did one of the voices in the digital asset space, Jake Claver, had talked about it in one of his videos. And he was discussing how it works and all of these things. And still, I believe that there can be some calculated risk that people can take. However, I'm not really looking to take that type of calculated risk right now. That's just
right,
it's too risky for my blood at this
yep,
point. I'm a hodler, I
yes,
guess you would call it.
I
So we
am
shall
too.
see.
I do see, at some point I would like to learn a little bit more about these projects and things that people are working on and dip my toe into those types of things. And really what's prevented me from really diving into any of those things is that I'm still educating myself on the tokenomics of everything,
Hmm. Hmm.
how they're going to tokenize everything, and um, trying to explain it to people. And so through doing that, I'm teaching myself, or I'm
Yeah,
reinforcing what I've already thought, what I already think about things. And I mean, having a full-time job on top of trying to do what I'm doing, there's
yeah,
only so many hours in the day. And I mean, I've won
absolutely.
prizes and things that I haven't accepted necessarily. I think I won an NFT and things like that. And I'm not super comfortable with it. And so I don't want to do anything willy-nilly.
Right.
And so I've probably missed out on many opportunities. Um, but I just really have to stay true to myself and what I'm comfortable in,
Right.
and what my capacity for learning is, really,
Right.
because
Exactly.
there's so much stuff, when it comes to.
I'm definitely not gonna tell you that I'm an actual techie because I'm not.
I am
I'm
no.
definitely not a techie. Not at all. Not at all. So what I will say is that I have learned a lot. Hold on. I'm in the middle of a conversation, Mom. Seriously?
The new mindset says slow and
Oh
steady
my
wins the
gosh.
race.
It does. I had a feeling I was gonna have to actually yell like an idiot on this daggone call, and of course it comes now. Really? Seriously. Um, so, um, and I and now I'm totally off from where.
No, you're fine. What I thought, speaking of learning about
Mhm.
something.
Yes.
So lately, recently, Ripple released something on April 4th,
Yes.
um regarding I'm just going to kind of like read through this real quick, not probably not going to read the full article, but basically they've they're wanting to issue a USD backed stablecoin, and they say it's going to bring more utility and liquidity to the XRP ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the beginning of this article, which I'll share in the chat, Ripple is the leading provider of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions. They announced this plan to launch a stablecoin pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be 100% backed by US dollar deposits, short-term US government treasuries, and other cash equivalents. And these reserve assets will be audited by a third-party accounting firm, and Ripple will publish monthly attestations. So, and it's saying the stablecoin market right now is about 150 billion, and it's forecasted to exceed 2.8 trillion by
Mm-hmm.
2028. So there's a clear demand for stablecoins
Clear
that
demand.
deliver trust, stability, and utility. And so I guess to meet this demand, that they're wanting to issue a stablecoin, and they have, over a decade of real world experience and trust build up in the space. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that because there's been a lot of opinions, a lot of confusion
Yes.
surrounding it. And
Right.
so what are your, I want to know your initial reaction, and then I kind of want to go into some points that I've found, and see if you agree. And then we also have some other viewpoints of folks that you and I both know, that we might want to talk about. So, but what do you think about that, Keda? What do you think about this
Well,
whole
I
XRPL
think
stablecoin thing?
I think it's part of the course. Ripple is an amazing company that for all intents and purposes makes makes tech and makes a way for value to be exchanged. Why wouldn't there be a stable coin that is XRP related, that is backed 1-to-1? Now the thing that I do have to be concerned about is just the amount of money that's being printed. You know what I mean? Because the more money that's printed, the less the value, it lessens the value of the dollar. You know what I mean? So um, that's where my concern is. What happens if the dollar just tanks? What happens? You know what I mean? Because there has to be the liquidity. Now, outside of there being other things that can back said stable coin, um, that would be you know, my issue. It's not even the XRPL or the XRP that's the issue. My concern is the dollar.
So and I feel you on that. And this is just my speculation, my opinion. And I will say, originally, when I was doing my research and I'm looking into all this stuff in the history of the dollar, um,
Hmm.
I really thought that the dollar was going to crash, right? Like the
Hmm.
dollar was going to be done,
Hmm.
dunzo. However, as I'm looking into it more, and I watch a lot of videos, listen to podcasts of, with the bankers and
Hmm.
other types of professionals. And I'm fully aware of BRICS, the BRICS nation, and getting off of the
Right.
dollar. So what I think,
Hmm.
in my opinion, what I think is happening is the dollar is won't be the world reserve currency in the
Right.
future. Okay. But
Right.
I don't think that the dollar is going to go away. The
I don't think
dollar is
it'll go
what,
away.
right?
Mm-mm. I don't think it will.
What I see happening right now is, I see them slowly transitioning and tokenizing and putting and moving dollars into these tokenized assets slowly. And that they'll do it slowly. And so for every dollar that you put into an XRP stablecoin, um, you're moving it out of the cash, I
Out of
guess.
the circuit, you're moving it out of circulation, so then that will increase the value of the dollar?
Yeah.
Is that the
So
thought process?
well, so here's what I had to really look and figure out what a stable coin was, right?
Mm,
Because I've seen a lot of documentation, where the WEF, or maybe it was the BIS, that called
mhm.
XRP and I believe XLM stable coins, right? They've
Right,
said that they were stable coins, or they considered them stable coins.
right.
However, I think that there's more than one kind of stable coin. I think
Mhm.
XRP would be considered a stable coin because of how quickly it exchanges value for value.
Yes,
It's
yes,
so quick,
yes.
so many
3 to 5
seconds,
seconds.
that it is much less volatile. Even if prices went up and down in the moment that you're exchanging it, that makes it a stable exchange. However, with them talking about putting um, a Ripple uh, stable coin on the XRP ledger, and they also said they were going to put it on the Ethereum blockchain also, have it available on there as well. The way that I am understanding it is that when you have a stable coin, and they're going to do the backing 1 to 1, and they're
Hmm.
investing into the treasuries and bonds and the cash equivalents, which is United States Treasury, right? They're
Hmm.
going to put, so if you put $1, this is the way I'm understanding it, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm by no means a financial advisor or a banker or any of that stuff.
Hmm.
This is just as I've been researching it and trying to get a better handle on what I'm looking at. The way I'm understanding it is that when they put the money in, you put your cash in $1 for $1, they're going to
Hmm.
take all of those dollars and they're going to put them into interest bearing a pool, like
Like
the
a
cash,
liquidity pool?
not, I don't want to say liquidity pool. They're going to invest
Mhm.
them into treasuries, or into bonds, those types of things where people are making like 4 to 5% off of the money. So like if you buy those now, that's kind of how they do these things. And then when I heard somebody say that on a video, they were talking about it. I was like, wow, that makes sense. Because like at work, our account, we have what's called a sweep account. And so, say we have $1 million, like $2 million sitting in our account. The bank will move that, and this is probably not correct for those of you that are very savvy with this stuff, but this is just how I made the connection. Our bank takes that money, puts it into something where they're making money, and then they sweep it back to us. It's still our money, but they're sweeping it
Right.
back to us. They're making money off of our money, and they're giving us a little bit of a cut, right? They're giving us, the employer, or our on our account, a little bit of a cut. So the way
Hmm.
that they were explaining this stablecoin thing and how Ripple would make money, and how other places like Tether and Circle are, with the XDC, or was it is it S what is the Circle
Oh,
stablecoin?
uh,
USDC, is that what it is?
USDC, yeah,
Yeah.
USDC, it should be.
So those guys are doing the same thing with making money off of it. The problem is, and I'm sorry, I'm running on, so I'll let you talk.
No, I'm listening to you. Go for it.
It's like flowing out of my mind right now. The problem that when I really started thinking about it, it if I trusted any company right now to put
Hmm.
my money, say I put, I have XRP, and I
Hmm.
am going to use this AMM, and I am going to be swapping stuff at, value for value of these different things, and I'm making money. Do I
Hmm.
want to leave it setting in XRP, or do I want, some people want to move it over into a stable coin so it can be ready to be used for something else, or it's more liquid or whatever. It's a stable
Right.
value. I have
The
never
crazy
done
part,
that.
though, well, I mean, I don't think, well, I know
People,
people are doing that now.
yeah,
At the
it's
same
risky.
time, and it is risky because the thing is that as we're seeing Tether,
Yep.
okay, you
Yes.
know, Tether is quote unquote a stable coin. Is it really stable?
Right.
Because as of
Because
now, it's being investigated because of its ties to Russia and the and all of these other illicit things that's being done with it. So,
Mhm.
there's all kinds of parts of it, which is why we need legislation, which is supposed to be going to the floor, if I'm not mistaken, of the Senate and the House this week.
Actually, let's see here. Let's see. I don't block that. I could, yeah, let me see if I can share this article that you sent to me. If I can do it. It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, you definitely you're onto something here. Um,
Because at the end of the day, I mean, and here's the thing. Here's what we also need to be aware of. As of right now, the market follows Bitcoin, right? And if the market follows Bitcoin, what we really need to be concerned with is that Bitcoin is currently held held up and propped up by Tether.
mhm.
It's currently being investigated. I'm not saying Tether is going away. I'm not saying that there won't be, but as of right now, Tether is not even really being traded as it was before because it is under investigation because of the illicit activity that's been done with the actual asset. So until that happens, Tether's not even really going to be able to be used appropriately. It darn sure wouldn't be able to be used for an institution.
Right. Well, um, I would say given just their history, they've already had some issues, and now you're saying
Hmm.
that there, these legal things coming up, which is where
Yeah,
what I was getting to is that when you look at who has the most clarity in the space, who
there's
has
only
been,
one.
who has the past treasury secretary, and all these other people in big places, in big positions within the government, um, on their team that are building
Which
these
is
products and putting them
it's
out there,
Ripple and XRP. There's no
and
one
it's
else.
Ripple. And so when I think about, what ultimately the XRP ledger and the things that they're building to be able to swap, value for value, and people perhaps wanting to put their money into a quote unquote stable coin, um, I would much rather put my money into an XRP or a Ripple backed stable coin. Just given, I mean, not to mention the fact that they spent a lot of money to fight for this entire space,
What was it,
and
$100 million?
I mean a lot. Yeah, a lot. I don't know I don't know, but I know it was a lot, and I know that a lot of other companies would not, they would have just folded. They would have been bullied into doing whatever, and they would have been shut down, and their technology would have been assumed, by the government. Now, I'm not saying that I don't think that Ripple is working with the government
Of course
by
they
any
are.
stretch, but I'm
Of course
saying
they are.
that, the way that I see this all being played out in front of us, they're they're definitely a main player in this, and they're playing for keeps, and they're not going to allow a stable coin that they create fail,
Yes,
or
I agree.
I don't see it happening. I mean, there's a lot of negative people out there when it comes to XRP, and they don't believe that, they don't believe in them whatsoever. And I would just say, I would ask you to take a look again. Take a look again. Look at the
Dip a
history. Look at all
toe.
of the things.
Dip a
Dip a
toe into
toe into it.
XRP. Dip a toe. Just
Yeah.
just dip your little toe. Just figure out what it is. Because my thing is once you tell people what it can do and why it can do it and how many different ways, because when we talk about XRP, we're talking about value to value. What that
Mhm.
value is can be many, many different things. It doesn't
Exactly.
necessarily have to be USD,
It's a
right?
bridge.
It's a bridge currency. You can utilize it for anything. Shoot, they're talking about putting people's medical records
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
the XRPL.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not talking about where someone would be able to take a look at your records on there, but just because it's value to value. You know what I mean? And as a person in the medical field, you know what I mean? one of the things that you fight for is continuity of care. And in
Yes.
order to be able to do that, you have to be able to be connected. The XRPL would be an amazing way to be able to do that. You know what
Yep.
I mean? And that's a different use case than what people are really waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the value to value part is what's most important. And when people start to take a look at what, at the research of what it is, then that's where we will start to see people really start to come in and say, okay, yeah, yeah, this is really something that I could get behind. But the way that it's happening right now with the lawsuit and everything else, which is still happening. And, I'm like, geez, Louise, thank you. Appreciate your help. Appreciate the time. Appreciate the time to accumulate and all those things. Thank you, Gary. I'll say it out loud. Thank you,
Thank
Gary.
you for giving us
Appreciate
more
you.
time, Gary.
Hmm.
We do appreciate you, Gary.
You're my friend.
I I wrote a post the other day and I said
Hmm.
that I don't have faith or trust in Tether, and I
Hmm.
was asking like, do you people have it? And there was a video by Mickle who he was kind of explaining. I think they were having maybe a spaces or something, and people were really kind of up in arms about it. And he did a really good job explaining and defending it. But
Yes,
I
he
kind of
did.
summed up his video in that he talked about XRP being the best blockchain for global payments. That's what
Yes,
people need to understand too, is that,
yes.
they are kind
Global.
of an enterprise solution, an enterprise business solution, which ironically this morning, a car in front of me had a license plate ERP. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what is that? And I thought, and I think about it, you know, like uh, it's like the Oracle, right? It's the
Hmm.
business, it's the big business kind of software to make everything work. It's not necessarily a retail thing. You're not going to use
Hmm.
Oracle. I used to use Oracle in for our accounting software. Um, but it's XRP, the XRPL, it is really good for the global payments, and it's a great opportunity for Ripple, I think, to create a stable coin that is trusted back and backed by one to one as far as money. And
Hmm.
I think that stable coin is going to complement the XRP tool, which I think of XRP as a tool. Um,
Okay.
and it's a neutral, decentralized, jurisdiction-free vehicle that nobody else can control. Like nobody can
Right.
control it. And so if say a country can't, they can't necessarily, like, well, they don't need to have your money in their bank in order to do a transaction with you. It kind of is eliminating those nostro vostro accounts. Um,
Right, right. It
which
is.
you know what those are, right? You do you want to
Absolutely.
tell?
Sure. So a Nostro Vostro account is an account of currency that's in every single bank that trades in that particular currency. And it's dormant. It sits there. That's what it's for. It's only there to be able to exchange that with another, with when that particular currency is necessary. So if you have that amount of money that's sitting there, it's not in
Yeah,
circulation, it's not doing anything. So it's not making money, it's just kind of just chilling. So what we're doing now is XRP is able to take away that part of it and then put that money back into circulation for whatever jurisdiction it's in. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Because it's not necessary to have a Nostro Vostro account when you're utilizing XRP. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
the XRPL because of the fact that you don't because it does the exchange itself without you having to have the currency.
I mean, it
That's the
cuts out
beauty of
that it
XRP.
it, it cuts the intermediary out.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. And that's the game
Bitcoin
changer.
Bitcoin does the same thing in terms of being a peer to peer, and it does cut
Mhm.
the intermediary out. And I think this is where a lot of people they're anti-Bitcoin. They say it's old, antiquated, that sort of thing. Bitcoin, it does cut out the intermediary between, you don't have to have a bank to actually send Bitcoin to somebody else. And it's just not as quick, and it's
The
not
only thing, the
it's
only thing
not
I have to correct you on
scalable.
that, though, I do have to correct you on that. The reason why XRP is so much different than Bitcoin is because of the fact that normally when you're utilizing XRP, like so, for instance, if you are looking to send the dinar, right? So you're looking to send a dinar overseas, but you have USD, right? You have USD, but you want to send dinar to, or you want to send this USD to the country that has dinars, right? You're going to send it in the middle. That bridge currency XRP is going to do
XRP
the exchange, right? Right then and there, it's going to do the
quickly.
exchange and send it over and quickly, right? Well, this is the whole process. It's going to take that USD, it's going to
Swap it.
exchange it to the swap it to the dinar, and then send it and settle it in 3 to 5 seconds.
Yes.
That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, and I guess
You,
what I'm saying is, as far as Bitcoin, I don't think
hmm,
that I'm saying Bitcoin, it does cut out the intermediary, and you can do peer-to-peer transactions. However,
yes,
on the level in which that you're talking,
hmm,
you can't do it that way. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it as quickly and efficiently as how the
right,
XRP ledger is. And so
right,
they both have their place. They both have their use cases of
hmm,
what people are going to use them for. But
right,
the XRP ledger and the technology that they've put together, and the tool that they've created, with being the XRP being a bridge asset, or the native token that's on the XRP ledger,
hmm,
even the fact that can actually, there's a lot of things you can do with XRP, but
yeah,
even just having that be a bridge currency and using it to transact quickly and move money around the world in seconds is
mm,
incredible.
yeah,
And so and then the other thing, when I was looking up like the reasons, because a lot of people were wondering, like, well, if XRP can do that, what do we even need a stable coin then for? Why can't you just use XRP? And the way that I understand it is that, because we're, number one, we are going to have a US dollar,
hmm,
that is a stable coin. Well, we should, right? That's
hmm,
that is a trusted stable coin for a US stable coin. Some companies or countries, they might not actually be able to transact solely in, say, cryptocurrency or a digital
yes,
asset like XRP or Bitcoin or any of these other. They might have to transact with the dollar because of rules. Perhaps they have regulations against being able to do it. There's all types of reasons why a company or a country would not want to use a particular digital asset or cryptocurrency. But
right,
if they can use a stable coin and then
hmm,
still do the swap,
right,
then they're able to use that too. And I mean, people can correct me if I'm wrong, because I am, I am just still learning about all of this stuff. And these
hmm,
are the things, as I'm working and learning, I'm working and learning.
working in late.
This is what I'm kind of putting together. And we have 73 people
Oh, hey,
joining
what's
us.
up?
Thank you so
What's
much.
up?
My friend Elizabeth's in here. Thank you for coming by. Um, yeah, let's see. Do we have any more comments in there? Uh, Slow and steady wins the
Oh,
race.
hey, Mr. Man, how are you? Welcome, welcome.
Oh, we love you. We love Mr. Man. I tried to get him to come on the show, and he's building something really awesome. I won't share his news with anybody, but yeah, he is one heck of a researcher and educator, and we love Mr. Man. Simon will be bummed. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, so there's just, I think it's incredibly exciting what's happening, and it does make sense. Now I don't know how soon, Like, are they talking the end of the year? Um,
The
for
end of the
this,
year for
for the
the stable
stable
coin.
coin? Like,
Isn't it supposed
I
to be like towards the fourth quarter of this year?
that's what I think. Like, I
I
think they
think
said
it's the
towards the
fourth
end of the
quarter.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and then it comes into, all right. So,
I see Dawn is in the house. Hi,
hey,
Dawn.
John, how
And
are you, my
Fuzzy
friend?
888. Hi, friends.
We love you guys. Um,
Most definitely.
it now a lot of people. This is the other thing that I think gets people when it comes to XRP because of the price and how
Hmm.
it doesn't seem to move when we've had all this news, and so you get a lot of people
I think that's on purpose,
backhand and
though.
us, and then there's
I think it's on
and so
purpose, though. Think about it.
yeah,
They're going through a court case, right?
yeah,
And one of the things that we have said is that there's been a differentiation and a line of demarcation between XRP and Ripple, right? And as there should be, right? And because of that, if it was shown that XRP moved with any news that comes from Ripple, then that would be a reason for the SEC's argument to be valid.
yeah,
So I think it's calculated that it's not moving where it should be because for all rights and intents and purposes, it should be much higher. Just basically because if it's following Bitcoin, it should be much higher. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm not saying it should be where Bitcoin is right now because we haven't even gotten to full utility for its purpose yet. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, we shouldn't see it be, $1,000. We shouldn't see that yet. However, we should see it be more than 60 cents. You know what
right.
I mean? We should at
It's
least see
never,
$1. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I know. Well, I bought it at $1 and $1.20.
Ooh,
So, oh
dang.
yeah. I mean, I did. I don't care. I just kept
I
buying it
know.
because
I know.
I think it's worth it. And then I just left because I think if it goes to what I think in the future, I don't care if I paid $5 for it. You
That
know,
part.
I
All of
think it
that part.
I mean, I think it has utility and it's going to be something that's used for a very, very, very long time.
I
Um,
agree.
so when we talk about this stable coin and it gets rolling, um, I think I've heard a couple, different people say already their opinions on whether it's going to move the price significantly or not. Um,
Right.
I think maybe initially it will
Hmm.
move the price because of, there'll be some hype going on about it. But that in and of itself, I don't think is what's going to make the price go, to a much higher level. It's really going to be when it's fully utilized and being
Correct.
used, and as everything gets tokenized, right?
Yes.
When all of these assets get tokenized and people are starting to trade them back and forth, and all of these things that are built and tested, because I kind of
Hmm.
think, don't you think we're kind of going through the testing phase? We have 117 people watching us. Hello, my
Oh,
friend.
hey.
I
Hello,
love you.
friends.
Island Ghost Stephanie, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Um, so
I
I
think
don't
it's going to
know.
be very interesting because we can speculate all day. You know what I mean? We can speculate all day on,
Yes,
you know, what's going to be coming and what price ranges we can see or, um, we can go by data to see, how many partnerships there are, with the ACIs and the SWIFT and all these different and then all the ones that we don't know about because there were the 1700 deals
right?
that they had that we don't
I,
know about. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So and it's not divulged what they are. So as of right now, there's going to be a lot that we're going to see as we're going through the year. And let's not even mention the fact that this is an election year.
right,
You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, the market goes bananas during an election year. Why? Because they don't want people to be upset and mad because they don't have any money. They need the money to in order to be able to run. So they're going to make sure people are okay.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah, they're going to play their little games. XRP Slave says Jerome Powell said that there would be like a bridge from a private company with the highest of clarity to be used. So yes, once the
mhm.
court case is over and they start to use it, you will see the price go up. Yes, I concur. I think, don't you think sometimes too that they tell us without telling us, right?
Yes,
It's those
absolutely.
of us that are giving it attention, and people will call us conspiracy theorists, or
Mhm.
we're reading. Oh, you're reading a lot into those things, right? I hear that a lot is, oh,
You know
that's
what
a
I hear
lot
though?
to. That's a lot to take out of that, Melissa. I don't know where you're
Yeah,
getting that from, but
until
you know,
until exactly what you said happens.
yep.
And I've had many of an occasion where I've said, "Oh, this is going to happen, such and such and such and such," and then the next thing you know, come to find out, yeah, well, it did happen. Oh,
Who that
I'm going.
is?
Who that?
Hey,
Our
hey,
friend
hey,
Hey,
Simon.
hey,
Yeah.
hey!
I'm
How
I'm
are
on
you?
location.
I,
Let me find out what
I
location.
like those. How you doing, Simon?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just taking a quick 15-minute break, so I'm like literally digging in my backpack trying to find my healthy snack, trying to get on.
Oh,
Kita, but
nice.
Kita, it's nice to meet you and see you. I've heard good
Yes,
things. Are you going to
thank you,
Vegas?
sir. I am. I am. I
Woo!
hadn't
All
put it
right,
out there
cool.
yet, but yes, I will be there.
Oh my! Oh dang! Spoiler alert. Take two. We'll
No,
delete that.
no,
No. Okay.
no, it's all good.
We're
Okay.
sharing
Cool.
a
I will be
room.
out
We're
there.
sharing a room. You got any
Whoa.
2 cents? You got any 2 cents on the stablecoin thing, real quick? Quick and
Okay,
dirty.
are we talking about the XRP stablecoin?
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
XRP
Yes.
stablecoin.
Okay, so
Yep.
actually, all right. So check it out. I had a thought, and it's based on half of the information that I've already gotten from Mr. Man because he did a video on CBDCs and stablecoins, and some of these stablecoins are going to be backed by CBDCs, which I found very interesting. And I remember Mr. Man also did a video on how XRP is pretty much slated to be a bridge currency. Now let's go just one more step. If Ripple is going to create a stablecoin, by the way, I think they already have because they were already signed up to be in partnership with the Fed now here in the US. I don't know about anywhere else globally, but I do know that they did sign on to that project. And so, what if I'm speculating now? I got no proof on this. This is me just chilling in a sheet metal shop on my break,
Nice.
talking crypto. What if Ripple decided to create the stablecoin and back it by XRP? Now that would create more utility and a demand, a necessity for the utility needed, which demand equals, in my world, price go up, value, if you will.
Price
So
accumulation. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that's my quickie thoughts on that because I've been thinking about that. Also, I know I'm rambling on here.
Oh,
Also,
Rambo, you only got a couple.
I I know Melissa sent me the SWAT, what is it, SWAT podcast. Okay,
Oh, yeah, yeah. That
Akita,
is.
did you listen to that too? Akita, did you listen
Not
to that
yet.
too?
Not yet.
Oh,
No,
okay, all
not
right,
yet.
okay. I'm not okay. In truth, anybody out there watching this, okay, it's pretty boring. Like there was a lot of stuff over my head. I suggest you just go on a drive and just soak it in, right? No distractions, you in the road, just like, that way you're not at home listening. You're like, nah, screw this. I'm gonna go make me a cheesecake. I don't care. But there was the lady from the New York Fed that was just sharing her insight and her experience that the New York Fed hosts regularly about stuff that they are testing, and I think it was NYIC was the division,
Mm.
and I was like, oh man, I was hoping to go to bed at like midnight tonight. That's probably not going to happen now. So, but shout out to you, Melissa. That was some absolute fire. As I was listening to it, I was sitting there going, "What would Melissa do? What would Melissa do?" Just keep listening, bro. The nuggets coming, the nuggets coming, and then then I had to turn it off and come into work. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be late. I gotta go. So whew, there you
Ah,
go on location.
I love
I,
it. This is fantastic.
yeah, I can do this. We can do this all the time on the dip of toe, until the layoff comes. Which hey, if it does, it does. Ain't no thing. I'm making my money right now to go invest in some more cryptos and to start a little IBC process. So
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
Very excited about. Kita, do you know about the infinite banking concept?
I don't. Please expound if you have a couple of
Mm,
minutes. Give me the short
Give her the cliff
okay.
notes.
Give me the
Clip
clip
note.
notes. Yes.
Clip note. Specially designed
Okay.
whole life insurance policy. Now, when I
Okay.
say whole
Like
life
to know
insurance
about that.
policy, okay, most whole life insurance policies, to my knowledge, have at least a function where you're able to borrow against the cash value side. Okay.
Correct.
Now, within the infinite banking concept, so
Okay.
think of that cash value side
Mm-hmm.
as your bank that you own because you own the contract slash policy.
Right.
Okay. So anytime you uh, want to borrow against it, by the way, it's earning interest this whole time while it sits there. Even when you borrow against it, they're still getting its 4%. You borrow
Okay.
against it instead of buying something nice, which I don't recommend you do, in my opinion. You go
Okay.
out and start a business. You go out and invest in crypto. Maybe the dip
Mm-hmm.
happened again, and you happen to have that at your disposal. You can borrow against it, have money in your account in 2 days, and you can buy the cryptos that you would like, and then you pay back the loan with interest. But there's a lot more in this strategy, so I recommend reading Nelson Nash, Becoming Your Own Banker. Unfortunately, he's passed, but he is the some call him the inventor. I'd say, look, man, he discovered it through his own life trials and tribulations. It is a gem because, and I say that because one of my problems that I've been having is where do I stick money when I'm in profits? If I decide to sell anything, right? Where do I stick that? Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Where do I stick that? What is a good investment, or rather, I need a place where I can park this while I'm doing my due diligence, like we've done with crypto. We've had all the time in
Mm-hmm.
the time in the world to search these projects, do our research, have conversations,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if your money's just sitting out there with nowhere to go, you could be losing the money. You could
Mm-hmm.
be having some risk. Maybe you left it over at Bank of America or something. Not saying that this could happen, but maybe there's a temporary shutdown for 2 weeks. And during that 2 weeks, you could have had that opportunity to do something else with it. But since they were having technical issues, you couldn't play.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Very interesting stuff. Check it out. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Check it
sure will.
out.
I like it.
Well, thank you,
I like it.
Simon.
You're
What
welcome.
do you what's your healthy snack, by the way?
We're doing salami and sharp cheddar cheese straight from Tillamook, a local. Well, I say local from Oregon. I'm in Washington State, so that's as local as it gets.
Okay.
But that's
That's
pretty good. Keita, where you at?
Me, I am in the DFW in Texas.
Okay, okay, all right, right on. How is Texas?
You know what? I grew up here. I was
Yep,
born in New York, but I did was raised here. So Texas is home. You know what I mean? I have two kids, and it's a great place to raise children. It really is.
family. Yep, family.
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely family oriented. Um, there's never a loss for a job. You know what I mean? Um,
That's cool.
although people say that there is, no, that's not true. They're
Mm.
lying and they don't want to do what they need to do. So,
That's probably more truth than that.
yeah, that part.
Mm. Hmm.
So, it's temperate. It gets super duper hot, though I will say that. It does get
Hmm.
super duper hot.
Hmm.
But other than that, I love Texas. I do. I'm not gonna lie.
That's cool.
And
That's
the people here in Texas still act like it's its own country. So
uh
yeah.
I'm kind of with that. That's even if it's technically not by contract or whatever, it's
No, but
still
it was. No, but
it was,
Oh
and
yeah,
see,
it was. It
and
was a
and
representation.
nobody else did that. Nobody else done that. And see,
Mm,
it's like, man, if all of us states could just have that sense of ownership, of the territory you're in, then you might be a little bit in a better spot. Maybe, I don't know, speculating.
well, they're thinking about it now. You'd be surprised how many people are trying to secede
Um,
in the
uh,
state of Texas.
I believe it. And
Yeah.
Texas as a whole is literally set up for that right now. I mean, they are set up for that
Oh,
right now. Yeah,
exactly. Because
like the
Texas
oil,
has its way.
yeah, and it's got the oil production like it ramped up.
Yep.
Y'all got you got Bitcoin farms as far as I can see.
Yep.
I mean, so there you go. You got the old, you got the energy. You got sun for days. If y'all went solar and started mining some Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a thing too.
Absolutely.
But you guys have the ability to walk away with respect and not, well, and going through some hard times because if things are going to be unsure, where are you going to get your items from? What type of issues are you going to have to deal with the U.S.? What new friends are you going to make? And are you going to be the front lines of some type of political
Well,
confrontation? But,
not too long ago, there was some talk about Texas possibly becoming part of BRICS. So,
I heard that. I
That would
heard that.
be wild. That would
Ooh,
be
that was,
wild.
ooh, yeah,
Oh,
but we all saw that. I saw some of the media on that. I'm like, look at this guy over in India in a wheelchair. What's he doing over there?
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
he's making deals, man. You don't just get
He
the
sure
invite.
is.
Yeah,
He's
you
making
don't just get
moves.
the invite. Mhm.
He making
You
major
gotta be a
moves.
part of the club.
Yeah,
You gotta be part of the club.
he make a moves. He make a
He
major moves. I
making
know we should.
Oh yes, he
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah.
He's
Hmm.
rolling through it.
He is literally,
Oh, that's
man,
not it. Ah,
on the
I messed
wheelchair.
up. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
Mm.
sorry. Oh, that wasn't nice. Oh, that wasn't nice. I'm sorry.
He's rolling through, man.
uh,
I'm sure he'll forgive you.
No, he won't.
No.
crypto
Them legs
professor
won't.
says
Mm,
evening, ladies of Dip a Toe and
Yeah.
Simon.
Mm. What's
And
up,
we've got
Professor?
beautiful sun goddess is here.
yes.
Says
What's
hello,
good?
my friends. Yeah,
Hey, Miss
very
Sun Goddess Heather. I see you, young lady. I see you there. Oh my goodness.
So, so give me the 3 minute play of what's on the agenda for Vegas Thursday.
Yeah, that's
Anybody?
a really good.
Yeah.
We listen. It needs to
we
be a
have
surprise. Don't do it. Don't tell us.
we having a
Don't do it.
party. I might play a little bit of Lionel Richie or something.
Are we gonna do?
Night
Are we
long,
gonna do?
all
Are we gonna
night,
do
all
karaoke?
night,
Are
all
we gonna do
night long.
karaoke again? Is that what
You
we're
know
gonna
what?
do?
We're gonna yeah. Hey, actually, I want to, now that you said that, Keda, anybody that likes to sing karaoke, there's a little known space by Gotta Be, that he does a karaoke on Saturday nights on Twitter, on X, and it is the funnest thing ever. It's so
It really
fun.
is fun. It
Keita and I
is
did
fun.
it last Saturday, and we had the greatest time. Doesn't matter if you can sing or not. It's just everybody is really welcoming and fun. And so if you ever see me post that, go ahead and pop in there because it's excellent. But to your question, Simon, so we don't have that many followers. So, but we are going to have a little bit of a party for our close family and friends.
Yes.
And we're going to have some snacks and we're going to do some communicating
Snacks.
and rubbing elbows
Good.
and networking. And we're going to have a little light jazz music and some good snacks and whatnot, and
Yeah.
maybe a drink or
Cool,
two.
cool.
And then, of course, the rest of the weekend, there's going to be so many parties going on.
Yes.
We might have more of our own parties, or we'll go to those parties. But what I do know is that I'm looking forward to XRP Las Vegas and meeting everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Like I said, don't be intimidated by me, people, because I'm extremely tall and I got really long legs.
All right,
So,
all right, ladies, I gotta go. Peace
love
out to all
you.
my dipper out there. Keita, it was nice to meet you. Melissa, be
Nice
good.
to meet
We'll catch
you.
y'all
Thank
Have
next
you for
week.
a nice
having
day.
me.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Aw, thank you,
Oh, that was a good
Nicole.
surprise.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Having a great time. It's great to be here. For real.
Oh yeah, love you. Awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, yeah, that was Sun Goddess says karaoke. Yes, yeah, it
Yes,
really,
yes, yes.
honestly, guys, it's so fun. Lady K, if those of you are familiar, Lady K is often in there. Last week, this weekend, we had Crypto Queen was in
Yep, we
there.
sure did.
Um, and who else
Patrick
is in there?
Riley was in there.
Patrick's always in there,
hmm
and I have to
And
tell you, gotta be Greg. He sings. Holy
oh
smokes!
my
There's this
God.
Carlos fella. I don't know who.
Yes,
I
he was so
listen.
great.
I follow his X account, and I found like he has other songs on his
hmm
account, and I was like, "Holy smokes, man!" Like
Yeah, he and
you
he
people
played,
are.
didn't he? Wasn't he the one that played the
Oh, he
guitar?
plays guitar. Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He plays
yeah,
guitar. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, there's so many talented talented people that go on there, and like I said, it's just again, it's another another hand,
outlet.
yeah, and it's just another example of how awesome the people in this space are, because I've met such wonderful people. They're all supportive of one another, and they just are having a good time, and I that is the people that I want. You know, they say you are the sum of the five closest people that you're giving your attention to, and I feel like I have you know, more than five quality people that I surround myself
Yes,
with, and it just continues to lift me up more and more, and I
yes,
feel more powerful than I've ever felt before, and it's because of all of you guys, you
yeah.
know. So I love it.
And what I will say to you, Melissa, is it is beautiful to see a woman in the space
Yes.
and a woman in the space holding her own, because it can be very difficult um, to be able to get your point across, get your thought processes out there, and not have them shot down or to be ridiculed. So, it's nice. And I'm not saying that, the space is bad, especially, in the XRP community. I'm just saying, it can be difficult. We may or may not be as techy as some of our male counterparts, but I think what we add is really important. And in a lot of instances, it's the other aspects of this space that's necessary, which is
Yeah.
things like getting your mind right, getting yourself in the right mind space to be able to deal with what's going to be coming. Because if you're not, this what life-changing wealth can do is nothing more than amplify who you are,
Amen. That's well
you
said.
know.
Well said.
And if that means if you're a jerk, you're gonna be more of a jerk.
You're gonna be a jerk with
And if
money.
yeah, you're gonna be a jerk with money. And trust me, that's not a good combination, you
No.
know. But at the same time, if you are a person that wants to give of your heart and wants to be able to do better and do great things, then you're gonna be on it to make sure that that's your footprint. That's the legacy you're leaving behind. And it doesn't necessarily have to be loud. It doesn't have to be something that's in your face. It could be like Prince did many, many things for people and swore them to never say that he did it,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know?
Didn't want
So
it.
I
Didn't
mean,
want the acknowledgement
didn't
for
want
it.
the acknowledgement, just wanted to be able to do it and then go on about his business, you
Yep.
know? So I mean, and mind you, there's yin and yang in everything. So there's going to, you're always going to have that opposite, to balance things out. You got to have the good, you got to have the bad. So you're going to
Yep.
have those ones that are going to be out there cutting the fool. Don't get me wrong, but you need to be aware and you need to be prepared for that. Hopefully you're not the fool that's out there.
Well, and you know, the thing that pops in my head, because like you say, there are so many different types of personalities that are in this
Mhm.
space and vibes and things. And I have found that if I gear my attention towards the positive light, I do better, and I feel like I was chosen for that role. There, I
Yes.
do understand that there are those that need to fight the battle and combat, but for me personally, I don't have the time. I have to choose and use my time wisely.
Yeah.
Well, that's our most beautiful asset is time, right? And
Yeah.
so if you're spending your time um, arguing with someone or trying to prove someone else wrong or whatever, it takes away the time that you could be doing something good. And so I guess it's all depending on what you consider to be good, right? And how emotionally stable you are to handle being in a pit of negative energy. I personally, I feel like I'm doing much better when I'm kind of staying away, even though I do sometimes, I do share some things that are not necessarily positive for awareness, but I can't stay in that thought process very long. I just think that we have such an opportunity to inspire others, and I've been inspired by so many in this space. There's just so many wonderful people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Nicole, my friend Nicole said, hit that like button. Hit
Yeah.
that like. And, we have 224 people joining us
Oh
tonight on the
my.
show. And I
Oh,
will
that's so
say,
good.
happen to be watching from my World Be Free, more crypto account on X, or if you're watching at Dipato Show on X, if you would please click the link and join our YouTube channel and our X account channel, I would super appreciate it. Just nobody really knows, like you say, it's wonderful to have people, women in this space, but nobody really knows who I am, right? I mean, like, or who Simon is. I mean, we're starting to get our toe. We're dipping our toe. We're getting out
Dipping the
there.
toe.
But it would be really, it would be helpful, and it doesn't cost anything. If everybody could just like and maybe share it out, subscribe would be fantastic. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to all of the people that come to our show every week and join in the chat. Oh, we got Crawfish in here. Hi, Crawfish. And For You to Know, my friend For You to Know is in here too.
We're
I
happy to have you both.
love you
Yes,
guys.
definitely.
Who else? We got
Definitely.
Chubanama Stable. I don't know.
Woo, okay.
How do I say that?
You
Chubana
said
Chubana
you said
Stable Chubana Stable Sable.
mm,
Evening, sweetie. Sweetie to you too. Thank you for coming. Um, so yeah, back to and Follow Jay's here. Hey, Follow
hey,
Jay.
follow Jay, what's
Man, we got
happening?
all our peeps in here. This is
Oh my
fantastic.
gosh, this is
I think
awesome.
Keda is the magnet for the people coming on in
Don't
here,
say
huh?
that.
Oh yeah, oh
Nah, it's
yeah.
good stuff.
Keda's the
Can I tell
magnet,
you?
huh? The ray of
Listen,
sunshine has entered the room.
you know what? I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing like being able to have good conversation. There's nothing like being able to talk about stuff and it not be just a combative type of situation. I so appreciate you, and being able to bounce ideas even if we don't agree. It's so nice
Yeah,
to be able to have that type of discourse and then
yeah,
be able to say this is why I feel this way, and you know be able to glean more information. You give me information, I give it back, and then we come together and then we are like, okay, well, maybe it works this way, maybe it doesn't. And I think
yeah.
that's important for us to be able to do. So
That's
I'm
what me and
thankful for
Simon do. Me and
it.
Simon do that too. And
Yeah.
what you're saying, it's so important because we used to be able to have discourse. I used to always be able to have
Yeah.
discourse with others, and that's how I learned because
Yes.
I don't know everything. You don't know
Sure do.
everything.
Yep.
We are looking at certain things from our perspective, right? Like my personal work experience and history and things that I've seen and that I'm aware of. You look at things through those lenses of what you've been, experienced. And so we might look at a situation or a document differently than the next guy. And so
Yeah.
when we're able to say, it's almost like, you look at it and I look at it and we say, this is what I take out of it. Okay, go. Let's tell each other what we found
Mm-hmm.
from it. And then it's like, whoa, I didn't catch that,
Right.
or I didn't think
Right.
about it like that. And that's how you learn and grow. If you only associate yourself with one little bubble of people and way of thinking, you never get the full picture. You'll
Yeah,
never
because you just
get the
have an
full
echo
picture.
chamber. That's all you have is an echo chamber at that point.
Yes. And
And I
they
don't
want
want an
us
echo
in
chamber.
those echo chambers.
Yes,
They
they
want us
do.
in those
Mhm.
boxes. They want us labeled. And I
They don't want us to be
refuse.
free thinkers. They don't want us
Nope.
to be free thinkers. And I think it's and that's one thing I will say about the XRP community. Whew, whew, whew. No
Oh,
lie, some of the most intelligent people in the world are in the
really.
XRP community. I'm serious. Because
From
think about it,
all walks of life, too.
all walks of life. Think about it. Y- Somebody put out a quote unquote fake ETF for XRP. Was it really fake? Was it really fake? Because the thing about it is our 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 people, the XRP people, saw it on the website,
Yeah.
and the person that did it is the one that did the BTC ETF. So was it really fake?
Or
Or
was it a hint? Was it a little hint?
thank
Was
you.
it a
Oh,
was it a was it a little bone? It was a little
well, I think,
bone.
to be honest with you, I don't even think it was that. I think what it is that people have been, people have been doing things in our faces for the longest. We just didn't
So,
know.
man, we
And
didn't
these
know.
days, we didn't know. And nowadays, you know, people don't have anything better to do than to research some stuff. People are very much so like, I got time today and I got time tomorrow. So if you want to put something out there, I'm going to find it. That thing was
Mhm,
found within hours of it being posted on there.
mhm, mhm. Well, and if you follow any of, I don't follow him very much, but there's a guy, oh gosh, I think of this Cliff High guy. He talks about the
Uh-huh.
woo all the time, right? And
Hmm.
basically, my understanding of the woo is the gauge of the flow of information that they're seeing and the things that are being put out, where it's kind
Hmm.
of, you could kind of see the flow and they can predict, you know, how people are going to react, or what direction a certain
Hmm.
group are going or whatever. I don't know why I started telling you that about about. I just have like a mental block of why I'm talking about Cliff High. Um,
We were talking about see, now you got me thinking about the woo now.
mm. No, what did you say right before I started talking about Cliff High? And I ain't even high, people. I don't even
I'm
smoke pot.
not either. I haven't even
I
had
don't even.
anything to drink. Oh my
I
goodness.
did. I did have a Bacardi lemon. Um,
See?
it's light though. I'm a teetotaler. I only have a tiny little thing in there. Um, Anyway, I don't know why I start talking about Cliff High and the woo, but basically, I guess I'm saying is they can see people's reaction, and you got the whole problem, reaction, solution things going on all of the time. And so, yeah, I do think that they're doing these things out in the open, and
Yes.
those of us that have taken the time to research and look things up, the cool thing about that is that once you have researched something and you teach yourself how to do it and you were successful in finding the answer, like for me personally, I will watch people's videos and I will look, and a lot of these influence type people, they put the clips out there but they don't tell you where they got it from. Okay,
Yeah,
they
they
only want
don't.
you because they're the controller then of the information, or they don't have time. I'm not saying people are bad that are doing that, because I don't always
Hmm.
do it either, but I'm just saying I'm one that really gives attention, and I want to go back to the original source always, because I don't trust that what I'm seeing is actually for real, right? And so I kind of taught myself to look for clues within a video and try to find it and find the actual source. And I've gotten damn good at it now. And, before it
Hmm.
used to take me quite some time, but now I kind of know. And so I guess what I'm saying is the more people start to research for themselves, they
Hmm.
figure out how to do it. Now you
Yeah.
got people doing that shit on the fly. You got
Yep.
people doing it, like you said, you see something and you're like, nope, let me tie-dye that thing. That's a
Mm-hmm.
fake photo. Where a
Yep.
year, like
Yep.
3 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, you had everybody sharing
Yep.
fake stuff. I think as a population, a lot of people are onto this more
Yes.
so than I ever expected
Yes.
for people, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah. It means
Uh,
we're
a-
not, and I hate the fact that in a lot of instances there are a lot of people out there that are deaf, dumb, and blind.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
XRP
They
is high
don't want
enough for all three of us. Don't worry about it. XRP slave.
to. Okay, and
Uh,
and that, but that's exactly. But but most people out here are really deaf, dumb, and blind. If you ask 10 people, how many people know about XRP?
not a lot.
How many would you say of
Not
those 10 would know? Maybe two or three,
small.
maybe.
Maybe. How many actually believe in it
And I may
or
be
research it?
pushing it
Yeah.
exactly, or maybe they've heard of it, but of course, because of the fact that it was part of a court case or litigation, they just wrote it off. I'm not
Yep.
going to mess with that. There's too much risk. Hey, hey, fine,
Yeah.
okay,
Don't
okay,
do it then.
okay,
That's where I'm at too. I'm like, fine, don't do it. You know?
yep,
Well, it
hmm
pains me because I know people that have money, and
hmm
I'm just like, man, you've got so much more money than I do, and if I was in your position, I would do X, Y, Z, baby. I mean, but I just
but it's
think
not on their it's
again,
not on their purview in a
but
lot of
you
instances.
and you say they weren't chosen, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that too.
I was
That
chosen,
too.
you were chosen, the
Yeah,
250 people watching this, they're chosen.
yeah.
Um, because we're giving this some attention and we will be rewarded. Is it going to be tomorrow?
No.
Probably not. But if we're patient and we just continue on with our lives and we continue on doing the things that we need to educate ourselves further, because it's not just XRP. There's a
Mm-mm.
whole ecosystem being built
Yep.
right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and they're all going to be, they all have to work together. They can't be one chain to rule them all. There has to be more than one, right? You don't
Right.
want everything on one.
And
You
that's
you
but
know,
that's where a lot of the derision or the division comes in. Is
yeah,
people get really really caught up in their one asset. It's the only thing that's going to work, and it's better than this, and at the end of the day, the digital assets that are in the utility aspect of digital assets are all going to have their own purposes. They're all
yep,
going to have their own use cases, and they're all going to work seamlessly together to be able to take care of this global economy. And see, that's where people are missing it. It's global. It's not about the US, it's about the globe. And
yeah,
see, people here are so self-centered and only think about it from a US standpoint. But you can't think about it. We're a small fish in the pond. We have a lot of dough, don't get me wrong, but we're a small fish in the pond. You know what I mean? There's liquidity out there that's not even accounted for.
yep,
You know what I mean? There's places that they don't have to tell them how much money they have. As
right.
long as they're not doing anything illegal with it, they don't have to tell them how much money they have. So when it comes down to it, that's the thing that people need to really understand. It's more than just here, it's more than just XRP. However, that's going to be a big part of it.
It
I
is.
think that we need to really see that the other pieces work together, the XDCs, the XLMs, the Algorans and the Velos and the DAGs, all these different coins out here that are doing things, real world things. We need to be looking into all of them, not just one.
Yes. Yeah. Uh, what is it? XRP slaves says, I know people that I worked with, they hate XRP, even said if I talked to one guy about it, he'd throw me through a wall. They're more or less,
Mm.
but fine. See that
Oh,
that
well,
that
that's
type that
yeah,
type of stuff. I just stay
that
away
type
from
of
people like that. You
yeah.
you
I'm
you
not
tell
even gonna
me
have a
you tell me
conversation
you're
with you about that.
bye. I don't need you in my space. Like, I mean, I understand it if you gotta be around them. But
Hmm.
I that's a limited exposure for me. Um,
Hmm.
no matter what. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And
That's
for you to
terrible.
know, brought up Velo and Shix, which is Stronghold. So if you don't know
Okay.
about those, definitely do your research on those because they are some real hidden gems and they're going to do some big things. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
are. I
yeah.
just think that the as we move over into this new space, and I've said this before, I think this is all being orchestrated, or how do I want to say it? It's happening in a controlled way as
Yes.
best they
There's a
can.
timeline. There's a
It is a
timeline. We
timeline.
just don't know what it is.
Right. But I mean, if so, I would say this to those that are watching, even if you think about your own jobs right now, what is it? Where do you work? Where could this technology change your job or make your life easier?
Mhm.
And start looking into it. And I guarantee you, you're going to find somebody somewhere making something for that. I mean, that's just how it's going down. And I talked to my son who works in shipping, and he was saying, I sent him an article on I don't know if it was V Chain or one of
V-Chain,
what
yes,
what
V-Chain.
so he said, well, it really won't make a big dent until the big shipping guys get on board, right? And as soon as I can't remember the name of the company that he told me now, but
Mhm.
as soon as I put it in and I put plus V Chain, I was like, they're already working with them. They're already testing
Yeah.
it out. And
And
this
you
is
wouldn't even necessarily
where, and
know that they
well,
are. They just
no, and
marry.
he's getting higher up in where he works. He's getting in a higher up position. And what I've said, I mean, it's the same thing with people that are in real estate, and that is that until they're ready for you to know, like, or even people that work at banks, until they're
Hmm.
ready for you to know, you're not going to know, right? Unless you're digging around and asking questions yourself. And then I always tell them, you know what? If you're at a job at a lower level position and you start asking questions and you know some stuff about this blockchain and all of these things, you very well might talk yourself into a higher role at your company because you are stepping above your peers. You're jumping leaps and bounds. You're going to be ready
Yeah.
when push comes to shove and people aren't doing things and whatever. You're going to know because you're going to be so confident in yourself because you've been learning. You've been
Can you
hungry, you
can you
know.
just imagine? Can you just imagine you walking into a bank and you sitting down with someone who is there in the private banking part of this particular establishment, and they come to talk to you, and you tell them that you have this particular asset, and you end up knowing more than them.
Yep.
You end up having to educate them.
Yep.
That is what's going to end up happening. Because in a lot of instances, unless these people are invested themselves, they're not going to really understand. They're not.
No.
So I think that it's going to be a lot of instances where you're going to walk into places and you're going to be the person that has the information and the knowledge, and they're not.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you have to be cognizant of that as well, because in a lot of instances, that's going to be very helpful to you because
Yep.
it will keep you from getting taken when they
Yep.
start saying something that's
Yep.
out of pocket. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yes.
that doing your own research is a huge, huge part of this. Huge.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm so happy that I have been giving this some attention. Um,
Hmm.
and back to this whole stablecoin thing. Um, I think the fact that they are, I mean, they somebody said that they read or heard one of them say they don't care if they're the third, right, largest stable coin, but they want to get in there and get part of that money, part of that profit, right, and make a name for themselves.
Mm,
And I just think really that Ripple, the company, to create a stable coin, to put on not only their own XRP ledger, but also tapping into that Ethereum blockchain.
hmm.
And I wonder what will happen when it's created and it does go there.
I
If
feel
some
like
of
it's
that
gonna make
liquidity
it
is gonna go move over, because I mean, if you had your money in Tether, if I had my money sitting in Tether right now, which I don't, but if I did, I don't feel overly confident with Tether,
mm,
and I just don't. And so I would immediately move it over into an XRP product or into a Ripple product, because
okay.
I feel like they are the most transparent and legislated company that's been following all those rules and checking off all those boxes from day one, really,
Right.
from what I
and
see.
and and not for nothing, when you really take a look, and first I want to say hi, Avon, what's up, how you be? um
Oh, hey. Hey. This is an actual event. This job was night before. Oh, yeah.
yeah, most definitely. So
How
when
you
it comes
doing?
down to it, um you know there's so much that we're going to have to really take a look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to have to really um hone in and really be able to get people in line with this, because right now we're here. We know what's going on. What I'm looking to see is, how is the adoption going to be?
Yeah.
How is the adoption? Because we have so many, different narratives that are coming out online, whether that's, with Fox News or CNBC or whatever else. You know, what's the guy that's on there that's always saying buy, 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 but you do the complete opposite? What's his name?
Oh, oh,
Jim
oh, 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 oh. Kramer.
Kramer.
Kramer,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah, the
That
reverse
dude.
Kramer. You do the reverse
Yeah.
Kramer.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, when it comes down to it, there's so many different narratives that are out there, you know what I mean, that some of these people are going to be scared, like you were saying in the very beginning of the show. You know what I mean? And until we actually, and it's going to be difficult, because until that actual adoption comes, we may not see the accumulation. We
Yeah.
may not see price accumulation at that point. So we shall
Yep.
see. You know what I mean? People aren't realizing that they're utilizing these assets already.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Some of them don't even realize that. You know what I mean? That assets are being used, and their money is being transferred in a way that they weren't used to, because it's not the same old banking
They have
system
no
anymore.
idea. They have no idea. For you
Mhm.
to know says pretty soon the word blockchain will be forgotten. Folks will just stop mentioning the word. So people
Mhm.
won't be in a scared state as it pertains to change, because change is at hand. And this is something, I mean, I agree. I think that is true. Eventually those words will kind of disappear, and it'll just be kind of how we talked about at the beginning of the show, where we never dreamed that we would be living our lives with our phones and the internet, and everything we do is email, where you're not writing a letter anymore. We're just sending an email, and the faster it got, the more expectation we had that it was going to be fast, right? And so if I remember when I first got email and internet in general, we started out with like mom and pop's shop in the downtown. They had their own, and you bought the internet from them, and you got your email through them, and all of
Mhm.
these things. And then, you had the America Online, and, all these other companies that started coming out. Um, but I remember back when, for example, MySpace came out. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Old school.
everybody had a MySpace, and I, because I'm like I am today, I was always a experimenter, learner, researcher. and I taught myself, I wanted to have one of those cool backgrounds and stuff. And so I taught myself the code of how to do it. And it's
Oh,
not
okay.
something, yeah, I did, right? But here's the thing. And so you could do it. And I mean, I was on message boards and I built my own little website with, where you'd have chats within it and all of the things that we do today, but if they're by a third party, right? Or
Right.
you're not doing it yourself. Okay. And so
Right.
really what's happened with that is back then, we were learning how to do it, but the more tight that they got it and the things that they built to make everything easy, they took away your ability to learn on the back end what's happening on the back end or on
Mhm.
under the covers, right? Nobody knows because it just works because we're using a template for everything, we're doing everything. And
Mhm.
so now it's much harder for people, or they're learning differently, I guess I should say. It's I'm old, so I have my old way of thinking of how I used to learn how to do things, and now I am having to learn things in a different way. But I guess what I'm saying is I agree with XRP Slave or For You to Know, in the fact that as we evolve in this and all this talk about blockchain and all these things, it's just going to be, and we're not going to be talking
Yeah.
about it. But the
Yeah.
fact that we are talking about it, and there are these people, for those of you who are watching, that maybe my family or my friends are watching tonight, because we have 292 people watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel at Dipito Show on YouTube, or at Dipito on YouTube and Rumble, and at Dipito Show on X. We would appreciate it if you guys would please help us grow our channel. It would be awesome if you did. But it's like, I think because we know what's happening right now and we're thinking about it, this is also the most opportune time to get your dip a toe to get in the space. And who knows, what do you got to lose really, unless you don't go crazy, if you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't have a lot of money or whatever. But man,
Mhm.
if you got a little bit and you want to dip your toe into it, um, start researching some of these projects and invest in your future and get yourself part of these networks of people that will help you. Don't go for the shillies. Don't go for Shilly
Yeah.
McShiller,
Yeah.
you know.
Shilly McShiller. I love it.
Nobody got time for Shilly McShiller. No, I'm
Okay,
saying?
but let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Um, it someone had posted something not too long ago where something is supposed to be happening as of May 1st. And I think whatever this thing was that was supposed to happen as of May 1st, um, is letting us know that we might have regulations by then.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering, do you, what do you think? Because I see things ramping up. I know that they're looking to have some type of legislation on the House floor. They're saying by the end of the week.
Hmm. Yeah, you talking about that the is that the stable
The
coin?
stable coin legislation.
Um
Because think about it, if we're looking at that coming up that quickly, you know
yeah.
what I mean? That means that it's already written.
Can I just read this real quick?
Sure.
Do you mind?
I don't.
So this is an article in Forbes, and I guess we'll just read it just for people. On April 9th, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand announced that the Bitcoin Policy Summit at the National Press Club in Washington, that while negotiations are still ongoing, she expects to introduce a new stablecoin legislation later this week or next week with Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming. And she described that with the goal in mind of it's going to unlock the potential of crypto and the original aim of Bitcoin as a means of payment. And she said that they worked with the Fed, the Treasury, and the New York State Department of Financial Services to allow non-depository institutions to issue stablecoins while promoting safety and soundness within the industry. Now, Loomis is a member of the Senate Banking Committee, and Gillibrand is a member of the Senate Agricultural Committee. And they reintroduced the Loomis Gillibrand Responsible Financial Innovation Act last year to create a comprehensive regulatory framework for all crypto assets. But in terms of the new standalone stablecoin legislation, Gillibrand said that they're making sure that state and federal regulators have the oversight authority to weed out bad actors while still promoting growth and innovation. And they're requiring that all issuers make sure that the reserves are backed 1-to-1. And most importantly, she explained how this legislation develops two paths for stablecoin issuers. This is what I found. The first path would be for depository institutions that would allow for both federal and state bank charter depository institutions to become stablecoin issuers after an approval process. The other path would be for non-depository institutions that would give the federal government supervisory authority over the state non-bank institutions while preserving states as the primary functional regulator. So, it says the bill is a product of common sense compromise. It balances the interests of federal, state, and industry stakeholders, and it'll help drive innovation in the cryptocurrency landscape. Let's see. So I don't know when. So when does it say that this is actually being brought to the floor or to be voted on? Or is this, see, this is one
No, it was
thing
in
that
the
I've
video.
noticed.
It was in the
Yeah.
video. Michelle Barr.
Oh,
Because I
Michael
think
Barr?
that's the Michael Barr. I sent you a video, and that's where she was talking about they would bring it out to the floor. But I know the new mindset said it's already on the floor, but they're dragging their feet. I'm not sure if it's that one or the one
Yeah.
the earlier one that's
Oh,
already on the floor, because they said that they were actually putting it out as of this week or like you said, this week or next week.
yeah. And so, I mean, and these are the things I know a lot of people, they don't like to give this stuff attention to because it's a bunch of politicians going back and forth, and they put stuff in bills that, you know, shouldn't even be there.
Mm-hmm.
And they argue about things and say the other teams against this because of this or that, but they're leaving out really important things like you slid some crap in there that shouldn't be in there. And if we say yes, then this shit is going to pass too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem I've got with a lot of the way that, you know, we these bills. I don't know how long this particular bill is, and I haven't read it, which it sounds like I need to.
Yeah.
But the
B. Rush
fact is
said
that they're on it.
Yeah, B. Rush said it's not on the floor yet. They're still trying to get more support from other Senate members.
Same with the House bill.
bills. Same with the House bill. Yeah.
Okay. And
And the
for
CFTC has it in test mode. Well, has what in test mode for you to know?
has this bill in test mode, or what does it say? Correct. It's written and drafted. The new mindset.
Yeah. I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised on that, because but I'm sure that even though it is drafted, I'm sure that they're probably also looking to put more into it, like they always do.
I met
Nothing to do.
I met Senator Lummis at the Texas Blockchain Council summit, the first one they ever had in, I think it was 3 years ago, maybe something like that. She was there, and this is like right when I first realized, how much she did actually know about the space. Her and Ted Cruz were there, and I still think, they do a lot of flapping their jaws in that, but I will say they're damn good at flapping their jaws of knowing what they're talking about. At least they're well rehearsed. Let's put it that way, because they were able to answer questions off the cuff very easily. Now, Senator Cornyn or whatever his name was there, and I was like, dude, get off the stage. You don't even you don't even belong on that stage. You're just trying to get yourself some FaceTime
Yeah.
on this on it. And so, but anyway, I guess those are the folks that we have, fighting, quote unquote, fighting in our corner. And it's our job, I think, to kind of give it some attention too. I mean, the other thing is that I was listening to that thing that Simon was saying from the ISDA podcast, and the gal from the New York Fed, when they're talking about introducing these different things or passing these different things, they put things out for public comment, and if there's a certain period of time, and it's just that people don't know. People don't know to go there, and that is supposed to be the public's opportunity to give their feedback and propose changes or whatever. We're supposed to be able to do that, but unfortunately the media doesn't really let people know that this is happening, and so you've got a small group of people that are actually making these kinds of decisions and giving their input. But let's see.
Want to say what's up, Brooklyn Red? I see you in there.
Brooklyn Red. Welcome to
Hey,
Dip It
and
So.
I know, and Money Paradise.
Money
Hello, everybody.
Paradise.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm
nice.
glad you made it too. Hey, Money Paradise, I watched your video last night, or I listened to your one of your latest videos, and I enjoyed it. Keep up the good work with that. I think you're onto something nice with your channel there. So if anybody's interested, go check out his channel. Who else did we have? Stablecoin Bill. Here's Sun Goddess says, supposedly Japan goes live with XRP ETFs May 1st. Oh, thank you. That's what
that
it
was
was.
the May 1st.
Okay.
Okay. We were trying to figure it out. I was like, what is okay? Yeah, that works. Okay.
You knew you
No,
read
it's-
something about it.
I
So
knew
many
it. I
things.
fucking read it.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is the thing, man. There's so many things happening all at once. No matter what your flavor is, right?
Yeah, it's
you can
true.
find something to immerse yourself in. Just depending on whatever it is, there's so many things that are correcting themselves or being built, or people getting caught, with their pants down. I mean, everything. There's so many things. And it's just it's very interesting time we're living in, particularly for those of us that are kind of awake to it all. And once you see it, you can't not see it. Like, I don't know if you saw the video of Brad Garlinghouse recent video.
With his shoes.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm like, okay, I know most of my people, they're just like, oh, here she goes again with the signals, and they're doing this, and they're, but I'm
He was
telling
doing all
you,
kinds of things with his feet.
I looked, I was watching him, and he was kind of acting a little squirrely, and he's a very professional speaker.
Yeah.
I see him the way that he handles himself. He's very comfortable talking to people, and he was acting squirrely. Like, I noticed he was kind of doing his feet a little bit, and so I'm like, all right, I'm like, crazy self, zoom in. I zoomed in, and I had my headphones on, and I was watching the video, looking at his feet. First thing I noticed was his American socks, or his, stars and striped socks. Okay. And I'm like, all right. But I started focusing on the movements and the tapping of his feet and the odd ways that he was positioning them when certain things were being said, and then he would be still, and then certain things would be said again, and he would move them again. And I just got a big kick out of it. And I'm like, this guy's talking to us through his feet. Like, I don't know if anybody else sees it, but I thought it was very interesting.
I saw it. I had seen it, and I was like, okay, I know she had said pay attention to his feet. And then I was like, did you drink some extra strength coffee this morning or something? Or what did you do? You just antsy. I was like, I would say something else, but that would get me in trouble. I just said, well, because I've seen that type of behavior, but normally it's when someone is under the influence of something.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah. I mean, oh, so saying.
Cause think about it. Cause think about it. When does Brad sleep?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. He always looks.
Does he?
He always looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, though. I mean, he's always
Sometimes a little extra bright-eyed and bushy
he
tail.
he's definitely a man on a mission. Um,
Yeah.
but I just got a kick out of it, and I guess I got used to looking at feet because I watched Larry Fink one time in an interview, and
Hmm.
here's a millionaire guy on speed dial with all of the world banks and stuff, and
Hmm.
he is being interviewed on stage, and I wish I could find this video again. I thought I archived it, but I have so much stuff archived I don't know which one it was. But he was
Hmm.
literally on stage with freaking like mud boots on, okay, and his in
Hmm.
high water pants. And so
Hmm.
so when he sat down, his pants went up high and he had
Yeah.
boots on, okay? And I'm like, this
Yeah.
is not normal. I don't know if he was giving the signal that he's talking bullshit or we're in deep shit or what.
Well,
Right? Put your
I'm gonna
boots
be
on.
honest with you. When I
Something.
was listening to what he was saying, the actual
Yeah.
person was saying in it, to me it seemed like there was some tension maybe
Yes.
between the two of
Oh,
them
there
because
was, girlfriend.
it seemed like there was some
Mhm.
backhanded comments that were being made,
I
because it was about
appreciate.
being together and working together, but there must have been some bad blood there. That's what it seemed like to me. I could be wrong. That's just
Nope.
intuition speaking, but it seemed a little stressed. It seemed a little strained. And then the other guy that was on the left hand side, it seemed like
La-
he was just trying to be the peacemaker.
yeah. The guy that was interviewing them. And
Yes,
the other
yes.
guy, so and the other guy is like a Hedera guy. Well, actually, so here I was very surprised. That was the Walker and Williams channel that interviewed them. And I follow
Hmm.
Walker and Williams because I follow Hedera Hashgraph and he does
Okay.
a lot of things. Well, I believe that Walker and Williams was one of the channels that I think they were bad mouthing XRP, if I recall.
Mm,
A lot, so like when people like just I don't think they were giving it a fair or they weren't talking highly of it, okay? In
yeah.
the like on some videos that I saw. And so when I realized that this was a Walker Williams interview with Brad Garlinghouse and I think his name was like Laird Baird or Bard or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah, he was
he's
talking
been
over himself.
well, and that guy has been around for a really long time, and I've watched a lot of old stuff of his. I got a lot of old stuff of his archive too, and
Hmm.
so it's just very interesting. He's very smart. That guy's a very smart guy too. But I noticed exactly. So after I got done watching the video of just his feet
Yeah,
and listening,
yeah,
then I zoomed in on Brad's face. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
what I've noticed is that when you everything is out in the open and you don't see sometimes unless you're actually looking for something,
Hmm.
do I really see it? And then once I see it, I can't unsee it. And so
Unsee it. Yeah.
when I first watched the video, they just looked like they were having a normal conversation. Then I
Hmm.
noticed the feet. Then I did what you said. I looked at his face and I saw tension all over Brad's face.
Hmm. Hmm.
Almost kind of like, are we done? Like at the very end, the
Yes.
look on his
Yes.
face when it was over, he was, I don't know, it was very weird. And the other guy too. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're pissed because they're doing the stablecoin thing. Because I mean, I think that guy was from Circle, right? The
It was it
other
circle or
who was it? Darn it!
yes, because he was talking about the stable coins. He was
Yes.
discussing stable coins specifically. But
Well,
I think it was I think you're right. I think it was circle.
I feel like they mentioned the Circle thing. Um, I would play the video, but it's kind of long, so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of uh I don't know if it's I don't know if anybody would want me to play it actually. It's like I'll tell you how long it is and then we can do a poll of hands of like say
Okay.
play it or don't play it. Um I think it is. It's 11 minutes long, but it's an interview with Lehman Baird and Brad Garlinghouse. But is anybody interested in if you just put it in the chat? Welcome to the show, Scotty J. Thank you for stopping by. You post the link, then leave comments. I wonder if I can. You want me to post the video or no, or send the?
Yeah, just post it. Can you post it in the chat?
I posted in the chat. I just don't know if they'll be able to grab the link from it. I just posted it in the chat.
Yeah, it looks like you can. It looks like you can click on it.
Yeah, good. So, in any event, I thought it was a really good conversation, a very interesting conversation, and given the fact that I mean, when they do come out with their stable coin, that is direct competition with the two main ones right now, which are the USDC and the Tether, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Tether. There's so many rumors about them, being kind of I don't know, shady and they're catching people and all these things. And so if people decide to pull out of Tether, perhaps they would go into, so maybe that, I guess, like you say, like maybe this is a timely creation, so to speak, like a setting of the stage. If they're going to, we don't know what's going to happen in the next quarter, right? We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we
And,
don't.
but so I'm somebody that believes that all this stuff is tied together because I think money is the keystone of everything. What is the keystone? Money is the keystone. Money is the keystone of every single thing. And so there's a lot of like you see these the FISA thing everybody's posting. There's a
Well,
lot of
yeah, all
stuff.
you got to do is follow the money. You got to
Follow that
follow it all the way
money.
back. Follow it back to the beginning, wherever it came from. Then you're gonna find your answer. I think that's what it is. It's a rabbit hole right now. It's definitely a rabbit hole.
Oh, I love you, Scotty J. Y'all smack that thumbs up. Yeah,
Yep,
do it for us.
absolutely.
I would appreciate it so much if you would smash that like and subscribe and share. Huh? I
Mhm.
appreciate you, Scotty. Where you been all my life, my friend? Huh? I need you. I need you in here every Wednesday night. Come on in. Come on in. Give Brad a run for his
Mhm.
money. Huh?
Hey.
Speaking of Brad, what a party he's putting together for the XRP Las Vegas. Brad
Is
Kimes.
he? Oh,
Yeah,
Brad,
I
you're
mean,
talking about Brad
he
Times.
yeah, he's really been putting a big effort out there and building something for everybody to come to, and I think it's going to be great. And I look forward to meeting everybody for those that are going to be able to make it. I wasn't able to make it last year or the proper party. And I was so bummed because I've been to several Bitcoin conferences and I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. And I met friends for life there. I met my co-host for Beyond the Brink, Christy, there. I met Simon there. And I just had a really good time. And but I really have a lot of friends in the XRP community, and I've never been able to attend any kind of event. And so I said, if there's going to do it again, I'm going. And by darn it, I did it. I'm going. I'm going this time to the XRP Las Vegas celebration.
So just to let you know, B Rush had asked whether or not we had seen the commercial, Ripple's newest commercial. Um, he had said,
Uh,
let me just go back to it.
let's see. I don't know
He
if I
says,
saw
"Oh,
the new.
He said, did y'all see the Ripple commercial where the dude was buying oil?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh, this is the.
yeah,
I need to find that. Where do we find
yeah.
that? Where the dude
Um,
was buying oil.
yeah.
Very cool. Maybe that's on
It's
Ripple's channel.
I don't have it the link to it in order to be able to put it into the chat. Um,
Mhm.
B Rush, do
B's
you
got
have
it.
the link? Oh, okay. I was about to ask if he can put it in there.
If it posts as a link, I'll be
Awesome.
able to grab it. And if it doesn't, then I won't. For some reason in this chat, I can't. Sometimes it doesn't let me click links for whatever reason. Don't know why. Semi annoying. But if he's got it, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, actually, that's the other thing is there are the Ripple channel itself or their website. They put out a lot of information, and
They
one thing
do.
I do notice in this space is, and I'm not faulting anybody for it because I mean we're all busy. I mean I'm sure there are some people that it's their full time and this is all they do. But there's a lot of folks that I mean they're just trying to learn and they hear something and then they put it out and we're kind of fed like the same information. And there's not a lot of people that are bringing unique stuff or stuff directly from like Ripple, like what B Rush is saying. Have you seen the commercial? Like that commercial should be all over, right? And maybe it is, and I'm just not in the circles of people that are posting it. Yeah, bring it towards the end. Our purchase with XRP. So Money Paradise says oil purchase with XRP makes me wonder if you can buy entire countries with it. Well, you thinking big, Money Paradise. You thinking real big, huh? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Bring towards the end. Is that the guy from MoneyGram? I don't know. I wish I had the commercial. I don't know if I got it or not.
BOS says nah, it's not all over, but it's the biggest news that goes unnoticed.
Oh,
XRP
XRP wants me to
play the
play the
video.
video. I mean, I can if you guys it's worth watching. How we doing on time? Are you thinking like maybe 9:30? Like 15 more minutes? Are you good for
Yeah, I've got like another 15 minutes, most definitely. I just
all right?
haven't eaten yet.
Nope, I'm feeling you. That's the same here. I haven't
All
eaten
right
yet.
there with you.
I will well hold on a second here. Hold on. Let me share it. We'll share it. Why not? And then we'll close out the show with it. We'll close out the show. Share my screen. Let's see if this works. Interview. Okay. Oh, hold on. I always forget this. I'm just learning how to use this technology, my friends. And I've learned that if I use it in StreamYard, if I use Chrome, that it's much easier to open up my stuff than if I try to do it in any other thing. And but it I have to remember it, and because I don't always use Chrome as my primary browser. So here we go. And then every time I get nervous when this stuff happens, I realize that it's not as bad. It's not taking as much time as I thought it was taking. Except, let's see. There is that it? There we go. Share that sucker. I'll do the whole bigs. The whole bigs. Here we go.
Absolute pleasure.
We didn't need to hear that part.
Hi, I'm Maxwell Williams, and today I have the absolute pleasure of being with two crypto living legends. They need no introduction, but just in case, Lehman Baird, co-founder of Hedera Hashgraph, and Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. Thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time to chat with me.
Glad to join.
It's amazing to see you both in the same space.
I know, we hadn't met until today, so it's good to be here. Good to be in person.
It's true. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you.
So, Brad, you've been talking this week about rebuilding trust in crypto. Can you touch on that a little bit, what you mean?
Well, I mean, the overall the primary theme from the World Economic Forum for Davos this year, their headline is rebuilding trust, which I do think societally is relevant and important. As we have talked a little bit, I think it's true for crypto as well. And you think about the headwinds of FTX, to some degree, maybe the headwinds around Binance and that settlement. I think having a lot of those things behind us, but there are also opportunities going forward in how we rebuild trust. We spoke prior to sitting down in front of the cameras about some of the scams that are prevalent. It's not specific to any one chain. It's not specific to any one project. And how can we as an industry collaborate, cooperate to combat? And there's so many scams that affect crypto, and that holds back crypto.
It hurts the whole industry.
The whole industry.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of like, if we are aware of something that's going on affecting Lehman and Hedera, how could, do we have a point of contact that we can reach out to the Hedera community and collaborate? And I think we haven't yet come together around that. And I think there's an opportunity to do that.
I think that's amazing. So good to hear for for your respective communities, but the crypto industry as a whole. Lehman, I know that you're big on this.
I am very big on this. So this is absolutely what we need. What we need to be doing is having the blockchains working together for things like this. So when we identify scams, we should inform each other, inform the exchanges, and be working together as an industry on this, and to educate people and to find other ways that we can deal with these problems, because it affects all of us.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
holding all of us back.
It's holding all of us back,
Yeah.
right? And so we aren't just independent. We really are together.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And we've been doing decentralized recovery, which is another thing where we're working together. And I just think we as an industry have a lot of common interests that we can use to make it be useful to the rest of the world. And that's what we need to be working on.
For sure. I do think if you charted the impact of tribalism over time, it is waning or waxing?
Waning.
Waning.
I think it's waning in our industry.
Yeah, no, when I realized, I don't know which one it was.
Which
going down. It's going down. That was my point.
Yeah.
And so that's very, very good. But I think the more we can do to accelerate that, I think more often than not, we agree. And frankly, I think for Ripple's, the experience we had with the SEC and the lawsuit, part of that fight was for Ripple. Part of that fight was the whole industry. And I think it demonstrates that if we can kind of think about the broader community, the greater good, that can have a really positive impact for everybody.
The 99% of people on Earth who aren't even in the community yet, those are the people that need help onboarding and the confidence to do so.
Right. Exactly. Right. We shouldn't be talking about dividing up the pie, because the pie can grow so much more. That's what we need to focus on right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You mentioned decentralized recovery there, Lehman. How potentially, because there's an announcement, wasn't there, with Algorand?
Yes.
Are you looking for more partners in that?
Absolutely. In fact, we're still looking for the founding partners. This is absolutely not a Hedera and Algorand project in any way, shape, or form. What this is making it easy for people to not lose their keys. If you lose your keys, you have friends and family, or you have banks, or you have lawyers, or you have companies that are doing helper as a service that hold pieces of it for you, and they help you recover. This is something we all need. We all know that the user experience in our industry is not what you want. We've got to make it easy for users. We have to make a safety net so they don't lose things. And so this is another place where tribalism is not helpful to us.
Right.
And so if we can work together, Algorand just mentioned that they're going to work on this, we're going to work on this.
And we're going to make sure we start to talk about whether we can collaborate as well. So it's good.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Possibly.
That's very, very
And
cool.
we're going to talk about how we can collaborate with the things you were talking about for scam identification and dealing with it. I think that we can work together in a lot of ways as an industry
Agreed.
in all these different things.
As the industry matures, how do you see this playing out? Because there's obviously there's circa 20,000 projects at the moment. Clearly, they're not all going to last. How do you see the industry maturing and settling down? What does it look like in a few years?
Well, I think of what every industry in all of history has done. You start with many players, they explore the space, and then it narrows down to a few. I think we will see that. It starts small with the enthusiasts and the people who are the cutting edge people, and then it reaches sort of the real world. And I think that our industry now is reaching the point where it's the real world. It's actual assets of the world being tokenized, actual ways of doing financial inclusion, reaching the billion people that can't even have a bank account.
Right.
Actual ways of making things, disintermediating things, making them faster and more efficient. We're now starting to see that reach the world. And so I think we're going to see the same pattern we've seen in every transformative technology in history. There were many projects. It will come down to fewer. We were just playing to the adventurous people. Now we're getting down to the rest of the world. That's where we're headed.
Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I mean, there was tens of thousands of car manufacturers in America, in the early days, and now there's a few.
I mean, I use a more recent example, but
Okay.
I first moved to Silicon Valley in 1997, and there was an explosion of Internet 1.0. And the number, I mean, I remember there at one point in 1999, there were 13 search engines. And, look, people have heard of Lycos or WebCrawler or, I'm forgetting, InfoSeek. I mean, I could go down the list a little bit more. Excite. So exactly as Lehman described, it's appropriate you have a new industry, an explosion of activity. You go through a hype cycle, and then oftentimes, as what happened in Internet 1.0, you had the .com crash. We've seen a couple of those to some degree in crypto. I think it's a healthy part of the maturation. I also would say, partly because we're here in Davos and AI is certainly a major topic, like AI is going through the same thing. There's a massive hype cycle going on. And that isn't to say that like AI isn't going to be profound and impact lots of things. It's just that right now,
everybody is a buzzword.
It's like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what the real business model is and what the real product is. And
VCs answer the phone if your title's got AI in it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which is everybody rushes in.
Yeah.
I agree with you so strongly. My background's in AI, and right now what we are seeing is definitely overhyped. But the truth is, it is going to change the world.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's also being overhyped
Yeah.
at the same time because no one knows what it is, and we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, which is good.
That's normal.
Well,
That's normal.
and the irony is my own personal point of view that you and I discussed earlier. Like, WEF is all about rebuilding trust. Yet the topic du jour is, overwhelmingly the headline here is a topic of technology that I think is going to erode trust until we figure some of these things out.
And that is a horrible problem. Yes, and one that we absolutely need to all be working on.
Yeah.
Yes.
What part do you think you can play in the fight against the downsides of AI and deepfakes? Is there anything the blockchain technology can do for you,
Well,
Brian?
for sure. I think, and this goes back to what Lehman was describing earlier. I think to the extent we're collaborating, there's ways to share information about known scam activity and how to combat it. And, frankly, looking at both the ability to go after people criminally, but also looking at the off ramps where people are extracting the value that they're stealing and trying to mitigate that. And I think there's more that the industry can do by working together.
Okay, and Lehman, what do you think?
We do need to be working together. We can also be using our industry, blockchains, to be doing things like keeping track of the provenance of the data that was used to train a model, keeping track of things like people proving that they created various things. There's a lot of things that you can do along those lines. You can even use cryptographic ways to prove that a legitimate person did it, even though you don't know who they are. There's a lot of ways that we can help, and there's a lot of different aspects to this problem because it is an enormous problem. And just to be clear, what we're really talking about is generative AI allowing one person to become a million sock puppets online and share false information and try to sway opinion. This is something we have to deal with.
A president announcing that he's invading a country and then it going viral on.
And a video
Or
of
the
him shooting someone in the street.
The SEC announcing that they've approved the ETF, but wait, they did.
Talking about that, talking about that, what obviously the Bitcoin ETF has now been approved and $4.6 billion in the first day's trading, which is a new record. What do you think the effect's going to be for the wider industry? What does that look like for Ripple, do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm going to...
If any.
I think it has a big impact on the industry.
Okay.
And if it's good for the industry, it's good for Ripple.
Affecting what way?
So I think the further validation of this asset class, the fact that you have major institutions, I mean, BlackRock is kind of the biggest of the big, leaning in. But like I also point out to people, that Europe has had effectively a Bitcoin ETF for years. I think we sometimes, I don't know Lehman well, I think you're a U.S. citizen, I'm a U.S. citizen. I think we over-index on what's going on in the United States and forget that 78% of global GDP is not the United States. Yeah. And a lot of what's going on in the United States is way more constructive than what's happening domestically for the U.S.
I think that's fair, but it's also a very important country by many metrics. So it's 6 1 and a half a dozen.
I'm not trying to.
No, I know you're not dissing America, but I get your point.
I think we spend so much time, and I spend so much time talking about the SEC, so, what's going on. It's like at some point, like, look, Ripple has a lot of momentum, and crypto has a lot of momentum in a lot of other jurisdictions that are much more constructive.
Huge markets,
yeah. Yes. So it's funny, 2 days before the real announcement, 1 day before the other one, an interviewer asked me, what's going to happen if if this is approved? Is it going to change the world? And what I said is that it's good news. It's good for the industry, but it's just one little piece of good news on a very long road. It's one small step on a very long road. And I'm happy to see it. And I'm happy to see the next million that will come, steps that come after that. And I think that's been.
It's just one more step on the.
It's just one more step
to legitimacy and then being seen by the masses.
It just shows that people are starting to understand this is real and it's important.
It's not going away.
It is not going away.
Are we going to see a Ripple ETF, do you think?
An XRP ETF, you mean?
XRP ETF. Sorry.
I can't answer that one either, though.
Worth a try. Worth a try. Worth a try. Thank you so much for your time, Brad.
Thanks for
Thank you, Lee. Thank you. It's been great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go, guys. That's absolutely fantastic. Collaboration is key.
Okay.
So
I agree with you. I agree with you. There's some real serious body language situation going on. If B Rush was leaving, I'm going to say peace out, B.
Peace out, B. Thank you for coming, my friend. We appreciate you so much.
Yep.
Mindset says very interesting. I'm glad you guys, because I wasn't going to play that long of a clip, but since we were chatting about it and people did stay to watch it, so I appreciate that. Man, Keda.
Yeah.
This has been. Thank you for filling in for Simon.
Most definitely. Thank you for having me.
I have
feel
to
totally
say,
honored.
lady, these people are here for you. There are 340 people watching tonight, which is the most. And yes, and I think they came to see you, my friend. I think they came to see you, and I appreciate you so much.
I'm going to tell you, I appreciate you asking me to be here. It was a great conversation, as always. To me, this is just allowing other people to hear our conversation.
I know, right? I know. Like it doesn't need to be scripted. We could just talk and say what our thoughts
definitely.
are.
So I thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody that came to hang out with us tonight. You all are so much appreciated. I love how engaged and how much you all wanted to really ask questions, give comments. That is what we need. And this type of conversation, this type of discussion is exactly what we need in this space. So thank you for that. And I so appreciate all of you. And thank you to the lovely Melissa for having me, because she is a force. She is a force. And I am so honored to know you.
Oh, I likewise, my friend. I am so honored to know you, and I look forward to being lifelong friends for sure.
Most definitely. Come on, man.
And I'm learning so much. I love people that I can learn something from.
Definitely.
And I love people that, like you gave me a little pushback or whatever, and I just love that so much. Like I love the engagement back and forth. And if I ever say anything to anybody, I just want to say, like, I never mean anything, any malice by it. If I have a differing opinion, I just happen to have a different opinion than somebody. And so yeah, but they say, what do they say? The XRP community of the adults in the room.
Hey.
They do say, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm old. My old ass is in the adult section of the room. And Scotty, thank you, my friend. He said he did twitch a lot when talking or scams were mentioned, like Fix and so on. And I will say, if you guys get the opportunity to go back and look at that video, zoom in on his feet and zoom in on his face. Zoom in even on the other guy. The other guy's body language was very weird while Brad was talking. So, but in any event, we should probably wrap this up. Hopefully we'll have you on again. And
you let me know when you want me back. I'll be there, I promise.
Yeah, I love you. Well, thank you guys, everyone. We want to say thank you for coming to Dip a Toe. Again, if you can hit that like on the way out and subscribe, we would appreciate it. And if you have any questions or you want some topics for Dip a Toe to cover, You can always reach out to us on any of our socials, or you can send us an email at dipatoshow, dipatoe.show@gmail.com. And we'll try to talk about the topic that you're interested in. But till next time, we will see you guys all on the flip side. Okay. Have a good rest of the day.
Have a
Thanks,
great
Keda.
night.
You.
Thank you.